So, Greg, we're going to have the anthems first here, and then we'll do the smoke dancers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, will you please have you rise, remove your caps, and turn your attentions to corners 1 and 2, where the national flags are being flown. We'll get ready for the playing of the U.S. and Canadian national anthems.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we do in all our big races, we're going to start this evening off with a traditional smoke dance. How about a smoke dance? Are you ready? How about for the smoke dancers? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready to go racing? Make some noise if you're camping with us here this weekend. Come on, I know there's more of that out there. We had a great time. We're going to have a pit party tonight, so come back and see us after the races. Tommy did a great job getting us ready. The guys in the booth, Tommy, will turn it up to you. Greg, Adam, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Clinton. Ready to go with the 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, supercharged by Nitro 54 variety. And we're going to kick things off with probably my favorite races of the year, the qualifying heats to get into tonight's show. The 360 sprint, 6 qualifying heats in total. We'll follow that up with crate sprint car heats, B mains, 3 in total tonight. And then the crate sprint car B main, the 360 pole dash, the crate A main, and we'll conclude tonight with the 35 lap main event. $10,000 US to win, $1,000 just to start the A main here tonight. I want to welcome everyone tuned in free live online courtesy of victorygames.com. I want to thank them for bringing us the ability to broadcast this live to the world. Those of you watching at home, share this up. Let's get as many eyeballs on the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals as possible here tonight. First of 6 qualifying heats set to get pushed off on warm-up track off of corner number 3. If you're new to the Speedway, that infield or that push-off track serves as our micro sprint racing track on Thursday nights. So the stars that race there Thursday, we've already seen a few of them that started over there and now they're racing on the big track and part of the show here this evening as we get ready for our biggest night of the year, our crown jewel event. Once again, my name Greg Kellnan here in the tower, joined by Tommy Googe, Adam Ross, and down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey. Push trucks give the call to push the drivers off and get ready for this first qualifying heat. The first of 6 qualifying heats will line up like this. Starting from the pole out of Ontario, New York, the Wilkins RV45. It'll be the Cobra, Chuck Hebing. Alongside of him, out of Geister Center in the Town Line Variety number 97, it's Corey Turner. Starting in third out of Rockwall, Texas, one of the winners of the Twin 15s last night. In the original Traders Energy 15H, it's Sam Haferteep Jr. Starting in fourth out of Scotland, Ontario, the Ohsweken Speedway track champion, the Bradshaw Brothers 47X. Quickest time overall, quickest Canadian, it's D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. And starting in fifth out of Brewerton, New York, the Pit Stop Convenience Stores 87, that'll be racing Jason Barney. Alongside him, starting in sixth out of Geister Center, the Kingpin Farms number 91, it's Ryan Turner. And going from seventh out of Sparrow Bush, New York, in the Profab 56, it's Billy Van Inwigen. Starting in 8th out of Vernon, New York, the Prestige Pool and Spa 67. That'll be Pete Richardson. And going from 9th on the 9B out of Charing Cross ERW Contracting Ryan, that is Scott Burke. Starting in 10th out of London, Ontario, the 4-wine Design 15 SOS. That's the president, Mike Farrell. And going from 11th out of Port Byron, New York, in the High Side Raceway car number 2, it's Dave Axton. 10 laps the distance, top 3 transfer to the A main. And Tommy, these are always the wildest races of the year because there's so few spots to get into the A main through the heats.
And what a way to start it off. Look at these top 4 drivers out here. We've got Chuck Hebing, Corey Turner, Sam Haferteep, and Dylan Westbrook. You couldn't ask for a better lineup than that.
Sam Haferteep was great last Friday night. He was great all last night, but Dylan Westbrook said he found something this evening. I'm interested to see, has he found something for Sam Haferteep?
Yeah, this will show what they've got, I think, right here. But behind them, Jason Barney can't be counted out either. There's several good cars in this heat race.
Ready to turn them loose on this high bank, 3/8 mile clay oval. Kyle McKenzie has the green flag in hand, and the 14th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals are underway, and a great start for Corey Turner.
Yeah, Hebing did not get a good start there. Crawled up to the chalk line and didn't take off, and we are going to go yellow.
It was too good of a start for Corey Turner.
Yeah, they're going to move Turner back one row, so that shakes things up. They determined that Turner went too soon on the start. They're supposed to cross that chalk line down in turn 4 side by side.
So we'll try it all over again as Kyle McKenzie shows the green flag in hand. Chuck Hebig and Dylan Westbrook side by side on this start. Green is out. Much better start for the Cobra that time.
And almost 3 wide into corner 1. Haferteep has the lead for a moment. Here comes Hebing and the top 4 right together.
Dylan Westbrook had a head of steam, but Haferteep got right up in front of him. Oh, crazy passing at the front, Hebing on the high side. Turner and Westbrook on the bottom.
There should have been 3 crashes already, but they managed to keep off each other and keep going here as Westbrook gets shuffled back out of a transfer spot now.
Haferteep is your leader, followed by the Cobra Chuck Hebing. Corey Turner in third, Dylan Westbrook outside of a transfer position.
So Westbrook started 4th, then he was moved up to 2nd. Now he's back to 4th again, trying to chase down Corey Turner for that final transfer position as Hebing starts to chase down Haferteep.
Dylan Westbrook makes a bold move on the outside of Turner. Turner gets it back. No, Westbrook slides down to the inside, and he'll grab the 3rd position as now the battle at the front is wheel to wheel off of corner 4.
Hebing desperately wants to get around that 15H of Haferteep as he needs those passing points to try to start up towards the front of the field for once. We always see the Cobra having to come from the back of the pack and make it up into the top 10.
5 in, 5 to go. We got a crash in corner number 1. I believe it may be Scott Burke up against the wall.
Car down there.
Scott Burke rests up against the wall in corner number 1, and now we'll see the caution flag with 5 in the books and 5 to go. And that was a fairly rough hit for Scott Burke. As you see, the bale there got pushed out of the way. Scott moving around in the car though, and the safety crew will get on the scene. The driver to Charing Cross, Ontario.
That car is almost camouflaged in the hay bales up there. It's pretty much the same color. And the officials didn't quite see that for a lap or 2.
Well, from the back, from our vantage point, Tommy, and we're sitting with the officials, the back of the car is white, the bales are white, just like you said. You don't see it at all.
And the wing blends into the Epic Racewar sign up there too, so very hard to see up there, but Greg fortunately had some eagle eyes on that one.
Look, absolutely no damage here for Scott Burke. They're just going to push him off. See any problems with the car whatsoever, guys.
And that's why we have a roaming announcer, because of our expert analysis in the tower had Scott Burke definitely done.
Well, it was a solid hit, I'll give it that. It was not an easy into the bales ride for Scott Burke, but good news that he is able to continue.
And how about the slide jobs Corey Turner's been throwing on Dylan Westbrook? They haven't worked yet, but they sure are fun to watch.
That entire opening lap, Tommy, you mentioned there could have been 3 crashes in that first lap between the top 4, and it's been interesting. Sam Haferteep has not pulled away like we expected maybe he would.
Well, Chuck Hebing is a wily veteran, has run most of these nationals races. I think he's missed 1 or 2 here and there, but he's run a bunch of them, and he remarked earlier this week that he never seems to start near the front, so tonight he's trying to get that starting spot up in the dash if he can and try to start in the top 8 in the feature.
As Kyle McKenzie displays the white flag, we'll get right back at it with 5 laps left to go in this first of 6 qualifying heats. Again, top 3 will transfer to tonight's A main. Sam Haferteep, Chuck Hebing, and Dylan Westbrook right now in those transfer spots, but you've got Corey Turner, Jason Barney, Billy Van Inwigen right back there in positions 4, 5, and 6.
And as much as racing for a top 3 spot, Greg, you've also got to be positioning yourself for your B main starting position.
Absolutely. With 3 B mains, you want to make sure you're near the front because there's going to be even fewer transfer spots there. Back to the hammer. Green flag is out. Single file past the cone, and Haferteep leads them into 1. Here comes the Cobra around the outside, and Westbrook following in his tire tracks.
Hebing actually drove kind of uphill into corner 1 and back down the hill in corner 2, and now he's driven down to the inside of Haverteef, but Haverteef too quick so far down the front stretch.
Here comes the Cobra on the bottom. Haverteef up high. Haverteef continues to lead going into corner number 3. The Cobra, though, striking back in the bottom. Hebing side by side for the lead.
Hebing is trying to get around Haverteef. He's got 3 laps left to do it now, and he is definitely eating into that advantage just a bit every time through the corners. Now Haverteef tries to pinch him down, and they almost make contact in corner 3.
Just a little bump there into the entry of corner number 3. Upset the car for Haverteef. It allowed Hebing to drop a little bit closer. Here he goes, charging on the bottom, wheel to wheel into 3.
Hebing comes out of the corner, and Haverteef is still strong on the top side. White flag out. 1 lap to go.
Why are the front of the Saturday night qualifying heats my favorite of the year? This is why, right here. Chuck Hebing grabs the lead down the backstretch, but here comes Haverteef. The first checker to the night will go to the Cobra. Chuck Hebing over Sam Haverteef, and Dylan Westbrook will get the 3rd and final transfer spot. Corey Turner will come home in 4th, Jason Barney 5th, Billy Van Enwish in 6th.
And ladies and gentlemen, the rest of tonight is gravy because you just got your money's worth at the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. That was 2 of the best in the game racing as hard as you can race out here. What a show!
Well, guys, the other thing I noticed down from the infield, if you watch Heap last second, he switched up his lane. He was running the bottom of the inside. Haverteef went to the bottom to protect. Cobra picked that line coming up, dropped it up to the outside, and just scooted around the outside. Some killer racing here tonight.
Once again, I want to thank the folks from VictoryGames.com for bringing us this live broadcast to those across the world on Facebook and on YouTube. I want to welcome everyone here in the stands tonight, all part of the 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, supercharged by Nitro 54 variety as we get set to bring out the 2nd qualifying heat. Starting from the pole at Ohsweken, Ohio, on the Ferris Commercial Mowers, number 23, it'll be Devin Dobie, and alongside of him, a 3-time winner of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals at the St. Matthew de Bellevue, Quebec, and the Four Seasons Foundation 28 FM, the Fireball, Steve Poirier. Starting in 3rd out of Six Nations, the Town Line Variety 77X, that's the Six Nations sensation Alex Hill. And going from 4th out of Bradford, Pennsylvania, in the Bundle of Warmth, car number 35, the Juice, Jared Zimbardi. Starting in 5th out of Scotland, Ontario, the Ackland Insurance 87X, that is Sean Evans. And alongside him, starting in the 6th spot out of Carlisle, Ontario, the Nitro 54 Variety, number 9 is Steve Lyons. Going from 7th out of Delhi, Ontario, the Ohsweken Speedway number 1, that is Holly Porter. And rolling off 8th out of Ransomville, New York, the Young Drivers Canada, number 18, Ryan Susi. Starting in 9th out of Port Colborne, the Lakeshore Catholic High School, number 5D, that is Jacob Dykstra. And starting in 10th out of Syracuse, New York, the Grand Homes Construction, 13, Keith Granel. And going from 11th out of Stouffville, Ontario, the Danico Structures, 1C, the Gunslinger, Ryan Hunsinger. 10 more laps, 3 more to transfer to the A-Main. Well, the first one was good. We've got 5 more to bring you. Heat race number 2 set to kick off with Devin Dobie and the Fireball, Steve Poirier on the front row. Slow pace to start. Kyle McKenzie will turn him loose.
Poirier's got the early lead, but here comes Zimbardi, who was very quick, but yellow flag will come out as Ryan Hunsinger has come to a stop up in corner 1.
So we'll have to try that again as the Gunslinger off the track in corner number 1.
Well, guys, this is a one-off for Ryan Hunsinger. For Jake Langlois Racing, they had problems in the heat, putting heat in the motors. They had to haul her back to the push-off track to get them rolling again. And so now they got problems here in 1. We'll get them fixed up. I don't see any damage though, guys. Should be good to go.
Now, if you're just a fan in the recent years of Ohsweken Speedway, or you follow online and say, well, Ryan Hunsinger, regular crate sprint car driver. Yes, he is on Friday nights, but you go back a few years, Tommy and Adam, Ryan Hunsinger, no stranger to 360s. He's got a handful of wins in those cars as well.
And if you go back a couple of years before that, he was driving something different. A couple of weeks before that, he's raced everything. He has been around. He has wheeled a number of different types of race cars. And actually, his driving style back in the day reminds me a little bit of what we see out of Mac DeMann right now.
Yeah, a lot of excitement when you watch Ryan Hunsinger, and you're right, you've seen him in just about everything. In fact, it's an unofficial stat, but we do believe Ryan Hunsinger is the only driver to have won in every top division Ohsweken Speedway has had over the years in the different divisions, whether it be Sportsman, 360 Sprints, and the likes.
Yeah, and that's something he's very proud of, actually. He points it out to me every once in a while and asks me if I can try to find out if that is the case, because we're still missing a few of the results from the early years. So,
well, who else could have? I mean, Rob Pitts, perhaps.
Rob never won in a sprint car, though.
No,
so Ryan pretty much would be the one.
So we'll try it again with Devin Dobie and the Fireball Steve Poirier on the front row.
Another good group of cars in this one, a very slow pace up to that chalk line, and Dobie gets a good start in a 23 car.
Dobie on the bottom, Poirier in the middle, and he cuts off the Juice Jared Zimbardi off of corner number 2 and changed his plans drastically.
Steve Lyons is on the charge in that number 9 car, but now Alex Hill gets back around him. Up front, it's still Dobie, but here comes Zimbardi trying to make it a twofer out of corner 2. He'll get by Poirier and go to work on Dobie.
Here comes the Juice in the middle lane now. He's got Poirier on the bottom, Dobie up on the outside, wheel to wheel at the line. Dobie leads the lap with the Juice. Jared Zimbardi clawing and digging down low. That time loses a lot of real estate off of 2.
How about Ryan Susi from the 8th starting spot up there battling with Alex Hill? This could very soon become a battle for the final transfer.
Yeah, Susi always seems to make a charge, whether it's in a heat race or a feature. He's still got lots of time left here. Still 6.5 laps left as he hits that bump down in corner 3.
Dobie leads the lap over Poirier and Zimbardi. Right now, those are the transfer cars, but here comes the Six Nations sensation, Alex Hill, riding back there in fourth, trying to crack the top 3.
And Poirier stumbled hard there in turn 2. That closed things up now. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right together.
So Devin Dobie looking for his first Canadian Sprint Car Nationals heat race win. He's got a good lead over Poirier and Zimbardi now. Alex Hill still on the charge in the 77X.
Dobie pretty quiet last night, really. He made the twin 15s, but really wasn't a factor, so flexing some muscle here. And now Ryan Susi gets up over the berm in corners 1 and 2 and loses a couple of spots to Sean Evans and Steve Lyons.
Oh, off the track again in 3 and 4. This time it's Sean Evans, so Evans will give back the spot. And look at Alex Hill going after the 3rd position.
Hill is definitely chasing down Zimbardi here as they get the 2 to go signal. And Zimbardi soon is going to be able to hear Alex Hill behind him.
So it's Dobie your leader. Poirier still comfortably in 2nd. The Juice Jared Zimbardi sitting there in 3rd, but he right now has Alex Hill right there. 1 lap left for her to get by into the top 3.
Down the back straightaway off of turn number 2, Poirier by 10 car lengths over Zimbardi. Another 10 car lengths back to Hill.
Checkers out, Devin Dobie will pick up the win over Steve Poirier and Jared Zimbardi. So Alex Hill will go to the B main along with Steve Lyons, Sean Evans, Ryan Susi, Kevin Crannell, Jacob Dykstra, Holly Porter, and Ryan Hunsinger. So there's your winner out of Wapakoneta, Ohio. That is Devin Dobie in the 23. So the Fireball, Steve Poirier and Jared Zimbardi in the 35. We'll transfer on to tonight's A main. Still 4 more qualifying heats to come. We are guaranteed $4,000 in the 50-50 draw here tonight so far, folks. $4,000 guaranteed in the 50-50 draw. 3rd qualifying heat heading out onto the speedway, starting from the pole out of Clay, New York. In the Longley Jones Company's number 98, it's Joe Trenka. Alongside out of Portland, Michigan, the Sweet Manufacturing 85, that'll be Double D, Dustin Daggett. Going from 3rd out of Shenango Forks, New York, in the Scorpion Security Products number 14, it's Coleman Gulick. And to his outside, the the 2016 winner of this event out of Kokomo, Indiana, the Chalkstick 67X, the law firm Parker Price Miller. Starting in 5th out of Wantage, New Jersey, in the Dave Franek Auto Sales 28F, it's Davey Franek. And going from 6th out of Fremont, Ohio, the Ronnie French Commercial Washer and Dryer 28G, that'll be Phil Gressman. Starting at 7th out of Stephentown, New York, in the Reifenberg Contracting Corporation number 90, it's Matt Tanner. And starting from 8th out of Durhamville, New York, the Buell Fuels 19K is Paul Kinney. Starting at 9th out of Sharon Springs, New York, the number 33, that'll be Danny Varon. And going from 10th out of St. Agatha, Ontario, the Cal Tire number 18X is Josh Shantz. And going from 11th out of Bath, Ontario, the RL Asphalt 16L, that is Roger Levesque.
Danny Varon, 3 times this year in the ESS Empire Sprint Tour, taking the checkered flag, and he is 9th quickest in this heat. This is a deep, deep field here tonight. Green flag about to fly. Daggett with a good start from the outside, but Parker Price Miller immediately to the bottom. He's going to slide up and try to take Daggett's line down the backstretch.
Double D fights back, though. He'll grab the lead back in the 3rd spot. Now Parker Price Miller does the same thing. Switch to the inside line. At the line, the law firm leads lap number 1.
This battle is far from over as Dustin Daggett working the cushion, trying to get back as Coleman Gulick makes a bold move to the outside to pick up the 4th position.
Yeah, that's quite a fight back there for that 4th spot. They all need to charge and catch Davey Franek right now, who's in the final transfer spot. But it's Gressman and Gulick going back and forth, put Gulick into 4th.
Wow, Coleman Gulick just launched himself past Phil Gressman. Joe Trenk, who started on the pole of this one, struggling with the handling on that 98. He's got a lot of ground to make up.
Across the stripe, it's going to be Parker Price Miller, your leader, over Dustin Daggett and Davey Franek. Coleman Gulick back there in 4th, trying to reel in the top 3 as he sees the battle between Franek and Daggett, and he actually gained some ground that lap.
Closing in, but he hops the cushion. He's got to backpedal a little bit, loses almost half a straightaway.
Yeah, Franek had bobbled down in 3, and that opened the door for Gulick to reel him in, but then he had problems, and now gets pinched off by Phil Gressman in corner 2. They both stay going in the right direction.
Wow, I can't believe how many close calls we've already had as they continue to race hard down there in corner 4.
Well, Gulick just threw a hip check that never connected. He drove it down deep, and I think he was willing to move him up the racetrack if need be, but Gressman kind of allowed both of them to slide up the track, and Gressman came out ahead for him.
Parker Price Miller out in front right now. The battle for 2nd heats up as Davey Franek slips to the inside of Dustin Daggett. Daggett back down to the inside across the stripe of the line. Franek 2nd.
What a great battle. That is the best battle on the racetrack for 2nd and 3rd. Franek with a good run off of turn number 2. Is the white flag going to come out next time by? No, it came out there just a little bit late.
Parker Price Miller has a huge lead over here. This 2nd place battle is good, but Franek has started to drive away.
Across the stripe, the law firm Parker Price Miller punches his ticket into the A main with the win. At the line, the battle for 2nd will end with Davey Franek in that spot. Dustin Daggett will finish in 3rd. So you'll have Phil Gressman, Joe Trenka, Coleman Gulick, Matt Tanner, Paul Kinney, Danny Varon, Josh Shantz all going to the B main. And your winner.
Kinney actually edged Tanner at the line, Greg, by 4 1/1000ths of a second.
The law firm Parker Price Miller out of Kokomo, Indiana picks up the win. The Chalkstick 67X, he along with Davey Franek, the 28F and the 85 of Dustin Daggett will all advance to tonight's A main. 3 in, 3 to go. Qualifying heats for tonight's 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car National, supercharged by Nitro 54 variety. Starting on the pole for heat race number 4 at Cloverdale, Ohio, the M&W Construction 17 is Jared Horseman. And alongside out of St. Matthew de Beloeil, Quebec in the Four Seasons Foundation 28, it is Jordan Poirier. Starting in 3rd out of Mississauga, Ontario, the Ackland Insurance 17X, that is Mac Demand. And rolling off in 4th out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania, the Foundation's 55, number 55, that is Mark Smith, the other driver that has already secured a spot in tonight's A main with a win last night. Starting in 5th out of Brantford, Ontario, the Strode's Barbecue. Number 10, it's Downtown, Mitch Brown. And starting in 6th out of Harding, Pennsylvania, the Mechanical Service Company. Number 79, it's Jordan Thomas. Starting 7th out of Lowville, New York, the Westward Painting Company. Number 3, that is Denny Peebles. And going from 8th out of Caledonia, Ontario, the Burger Barn Ace 1 Construction 55T, that is Mikey Bobby Mike Thorne. Starting 9th out of Brantford, the Hills Tire and Gas, Little Bend 110, it's Jake Brown. And going from 10th out of Waterdown, the Mahoney Inspection Service 5, CF Connor Mahoney. Starting 11th out of Elmer, Ontario, the Folger Transport 44, that'll be Barry Dunn. 10 more laps, 3 more cars to transfer to the A main.
Another heat with some great race car drivers going to have to come from deep in the field. We had both Turner brothers in the same heat earlier on. That had to be tough for the family to watch, and we have both Browns in this one.
Crawling to the start. Kyle McKenzie unfurls the green flag, and we are underway. 10 laps the distance, and Jordan Poirier took the lead momentarily. He's got Horseman right in tow.
Nice start. McDeman actually laid back going into 1, got a huge run off of 2. Jordan Thomas up into the top 5.
Poirier leads a lap, Horseman second, and McDeman they were in third. He's working that inside line. He's got Jordan Thomas in his tire tracks, and Mark Smith, as I mentioned, he's already locked into the A main, but trying to advance that position a little bit.
Yeah, neither Mark Smith or Sam Haferteep were interested in starting tonight 9th or 10th. They wanted to get up there towards the front of the starting lineup, but boy, oh boy, they're in tough in the early going of this qualifier.
Poirier out in front. How about McDeman, rookie driver in the 360 Sprint Car Division this year. He's got a feature win here in regular Friday night competition, and duking it out for second with Jared Horseman.
Really making great decisions on the line he's been running to this point. Finally now goes up to the outside where we're used to seeing him campaign.
Poirier continuing to lead. DeMann in second, Horseman in third, and now he is starting to feel some pressure from Mark Smith in that 55. Smith dives down to the inside of Horseman, coming to the cross flags.
Halfway through this heat. And Mark Smith trying to get up in there into a transfer spot, but we've got a battle for the lead. McDeman about 2 car lengths behind the race leader, Jordan Poirier.
Here we go, the fight for the win. Poirier out in front, DeMann right in his tire track. Horseman still holding down the third spot. DeMann, though, charging hard on Poirier.
And he is right there. He has looked awesome on the bottom of this racetrack. I can't remember seeing him run the bottom for an entire race all year long.
Nathan Ackland has to be losing his mind right now over the running in this qualifying heat by McDeman. He is the highlight man, McDeman, out in front over Jordan Poirier as we see 2 laps left to go.
2 laps left and he's pulling away. How about the 55 of Mark Smith in the 4th position? Needs to pick up 1 more. He's going to throw a slider in turn 2.
Horseman will work back by for the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, the white flag will fly, and McDeman is leading the way over Jordan Poirier in this magnificent battle for 3rd.
Mark Smith running out of laps. The last time he threw an aggressive slider, this time a much more subtle slide job, and it worked. He's up to the 3rd spot.
Checkers out, McDeman picks up the win over Jordan Poirier, and at the line, Mark Smith will grab 3rd away from Jared Horseman. So Mark Smith gets inside the top 3. Jared Horseman 4th, so he'll go to the B main along with Jordan Thomas, Mitch Brown, Jake Brown, Mike Thorne, Denny Peebles, Connor Mahoney, and Barry Dunn will all go to the B main, but how about that one for the hometown crowd? McDeman certainly was the highlight man in that one. In that Ackland Insurance 17X picks up the heat race win over Jordan Poirier and Mark Smith. Fifth heat coming to life over on the warm-up track off of corner number 3. Starting on the pole for this one out of Antwerp, New York, in the Route 37 Building Supplies number 10C, it's Jeff Cook. And outside of him, out of Germantown, Ohio, the Germantown Veterinary Clinic number 28H, it's James Hud Horton. Starting in 3rd out of Adrian, Michigan, the Kingpin Farms number 56N, it's Dane-O-Mite, Dane Nida. And alongside him in the 4th starting spot out of Lima, Ohio, the Jared Horseman Racing 17H, it's Max Stanbaugh. Starting in 5th out of Wayland, New York, the Empire Tractor 47 will be Kyle Drum. And starting in 6th out of Ohsweken, the Nitro 54 variety 15 is Dan Nanakoke. Starting in 7th at a Geister Center, the Charlie B. Honey, number 11, that'll be Jamie Turner. And outside of him at a St. Catharines, the Overland RNC number 80, the real deal, Chris Steele. Going from 9th out of Amsterdam, New York, to Miller Excavating and Landscape 88C, that'll be Chad Miller. And starting at 10th out of Waterdown, Ontario, the Renault Mac Construction 0C is Cole McDonald. Starting 11th out of Middletown, New York, to Grand Rental Station 30, that is Scott Goodrich. 11 more cars, 10 laps, 3 more to the A main.
This might be the heat race that is hardest to pick who's going to win it. It's pretty wide open. There's a lot of interesting variety in this one.
And I would think it's fair to say there's not really a single favorite in this heat. Like if you took the top 5 or 6 guys who you think could win tonight's championship, I don't think any of them are in this heat race.
Maybe Max Stambaugh. He's pretty good here, but yeah, it's definitely wide open in this one, I'd say.
Green flag out, Jeff Coco gets a little squirrely off the start, but gets it under power into corner 1. But James Hudd Horton on the outside of him.
Dane Nida with a good run through 1 and 2. He's working that inside groove right now in the 3rd position.
Nida picking up this ride after saying he was done with the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals after last year. He was going to hang it up, but he's in 2nd now as they all get upset over that bump in corner 3.
So it'll be Jeff Cook, your leader, over Dane Nida and Max Stambaugh driving that Jared Horseman look-alike car. It is the 17H tonight. For those of you watching at home and wondering, so Max Stambaugh right now making the challenge for the 2nd spot.
Dane Nida does a nice job to keep him pinched down, sort of spoil his line up at turn 4, and he bought himself another lap where he could try to find a line that works, and boy, did he ever. How about Dan Nanakoke up there racing for the 6th position, 5th actually.
Yeah, they got that car fixed after last night. It was having all kinds of problems with the suspension, and it looks much better tonight as he fights for that position with Hud Horton.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So the red flag will come out as Dan Nanakoke smacks the wall hard in corner number 2 and goes over in the Nitro 54 variety number 15. Safety crew on the scene.
Man, I hate it when that happens. We were just saying how well he was running and then into the wall.
Well, and you know what, Tommy, I agree with you 100%. And I think sometimes you can be a victim of your own success. Dan Nanakoke is a young sprint car racer. Not an extremely young man, but he's new to the sprint car world. And when you get racing that fast and that hard with people, you sort of grow some confidence. And we've watched him all year long try to run the cushion in 1 and 2, and it doesn't always work out for him. He's just not. He doesn't have the exit of the corner figured out. He kind of gets in trouble halfway through, and sometimes you can ride it out. And that time I think he got pretty confident up there, and he just lost all the bite he had, and he was just going too fast to be able to correct it.
It's a good sign they've rolled the car over already. And we should mention Dan Nanakoke, owner of Nitro 54 Variety, and he put in a ton of his own money to be able to keep the purse in U.S. funds for this year here at the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. $10,000 to win and $1,000 to start the feature tonight. So we want to thank Dan for that, as he has a bit of an expensive night over there in corner 2 as well.
Clinton Jeffrey, we can see the safety crew has taken some of the gear away from him, so obviously he's in there talking to them.
Well, they're laughing and having a chuckle down here, which is a good sign, ladies and gentlemen. We'll wait for Dan to get out on his own. He is taking the belts off here.
And that's a good sign. The safety crew goes in there and they assess the situation as Clint tries to find a bit of a better spot to get the mic working. And then they work with the driver on their time schedule, basically, to get out of the race car and make sure that everything's where it should be.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's out under his own power. How about a hand for one of our great sponsors here tonight and one of the competitors, Dan Nanakoke. And I'm going to have to trade mics. I think I've got Tommy's mic. That's the problem.
No problem at all, Clint. hopefully we can get a word. In fact, Clint, hopefully you can make this happen a little bit later on tonight. Well, Clint's got Dan walking over to him now.
You okay, Dan?
Oh yeah, I got a little goose egg on my hand. I don't know what it hit, but the rest of me feels okay.
I'd say, Adam, he's got a heck of a goose egg. But Dan, thanks so much for your support. You've done so much for the Speedway. Long-term security here for this event. Thank you so much. Sorry your night ended this way,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's unfortunate.
He just said it's unfortunate. Guys, we'll get this mic swapped out right away. But how about it for Dan Anacoke, ladies and gentlemen, one of the hugest sponsors we could have here tonight, along with Kurt Stiers and the folks at Aero Express. Made this event another smash hit, and we appreciate Dan. Tough luck for those guys, Adam. And if Tommy can meet me at the end, we'll swap mics.
And Clint, is Nitro 54 open 24 hours? As we have
No, they're not.
As we have a look at the replay, and that's a hard hit. That's the kind of hit that takes your breath away.
It's that changing of directions when you hit the end of that wall and it kind of just snaps the car around. And good to see Dan out walking around, but obviously hit with a goose egg on that hand. That may have been the first upside down chucking of the steering wheel after a crash this year, Adam. We've documented the distance on chucking a wheel, and while he was still upside down, chucked it out the side of the car.
And the reason we do that, is because that's how we know the driver's okay.
Exactly.
If you're well enough to pull your steering wheel off the steering column and fling it from the race car, that's our first step in saying, yep, the driver's going to be all right.
We'll have another look on our live stream here, and man, really just tags that wall. And look at how that right rear is just bent.
Well, yeah, it bent the rear end right from the center of it. It just broke the rear end of that race car. Great work by Dave up on the roof of the tower here on the front straightaway. And folks, if you're here in the stands and you have your smartphone, get it out. Go to Ohsweken Speedway on Facebook and take advantage of these replays. Like we say, you can watch it live and then you can relive what's going on. And every time I've watched this, it just takes my breath. That had to hurt.
And just like that, the car removed from the speedway. The push trucks will come out. We'll get set here in a moment to push them off. Now they do get the call to get this heat race back underway. Heat race number 5 with 6 laps left to go. Jeff Cook leading the way. Dane Nida there in the second spot. Max Stambaugh running third in the Horseman Racing 17H. Kyle Drum was there in the vicinity of Max Stambaugh before that red flag, and kind of within striking distance. This is a break in the action that he was definitely looking for, to have a chance to race with Stambaugh for that third and final transfer spot. Those of you here live and in person can see guaranteed $4,000 in tonight's 50-50 draw.
And if you're watching from home, we are working on ways to incorporate the 50-50 draw also. So you might be able to participate from the comfort of your own home. Lots of plans in the works, some exciting things in the future.
Jeff Cook, one of the true veterans of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, out in front in that Route 37 building supply number 10C.
Wow, that is I thought they said on his head, and I'm thinking, how do you get a goose egg on your head?
No, it was on his hand, and I could see it.
Well, have you seen the picture?
Yeah.
Wow.
Looks like he has a fastball underneath his back of his hand.
There's no bone sticking out.
So we'll restart single file past the cone on the front stretch. Jeff Cook will lead them. 6 laps left to go. Jeff Cook, yeah, he's a veteran of this event. Finished 7th in the very first edition of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals.
And Dane Nida shows how to use the cushion in 1 and 2 when the track gets slick. He got a great run off the corner there as Kyle Drum up into third. Kyle Drum into a transfer spot. We haven't talked a lot about that driver as he loses third spot back to fourth, but he's pretty racy.
Nida's been a heat race winner here before, and he wants to get another one as he tries to get around Jeff Cook, but Cook is taking a nice strong line through the middle in corner 1. Now Nida gets a better run out of corner 2 and into the lead.
And Nida out to the front. Cook slips up in corner 2 and costs himself a position back to second. With Max Stambaugh now in third. Kyle Drum drifting back in that fourth spot. Chris Steele beginning to reel him just a little bit.
All three of the front three are still in contention here because we've seen so many bobbles on the exit of these corners. But Dane Nida looks like he's got things figured out there as Jeff Cook bobbles in turn number 2, and he's at risk of losing the second spot.
And Jeff Cook, it was all his race for the first 4 laps. After that restart, it's changed, and that was a close call between he and Max Stambaugh on the line.
Yeah, no friends made there as we're on the last lap. I think we've got another slide job coming.
Well, they're going to try it, but Cook is not going to get it done. The win will go to Nida. Second will be Stambaugh. Then it's Jeff Cook who puts another slider on Stambaugh after the checkered flag.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure there's anything to be upset with there. Those were some nice slide jobs. If anything, actually, I thought Jeff Cook kind of got a little aggressive on the front straightaway when he came across the nose of Stambaugh. But that's just good, hard racing. And Greg, as you've said a couple of times, that's how important these heats are.
So it'll be Dane Nida, Max Stambaugh, and Jeff Cook transferring to the A main. So it'll be Kyle Drum in the 47, Cole McDonald, the 0C, the 80 of Chris Steele. We've also got the 88C of Chad Miller, the 11 of Jamie Turner, the 28H of James Hudd Horton, and the 30 of Scott Goodrich will all go to the B mains here tonight. Coming up with our final qualifying heat race number 6, going from the pole out of Welland, Ontario, in the Gibbons Contracting 14H. That'll be the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Alongside him out of Hamilton, Ontario, in the Case IH0, it's Mikey Krutchka. Starting third out of Syracuse, New York, the Peter Panning 53, Sean Donnan. And going from fourth out of Romulus, New York, in the Williams Insurance 22P, it's Jonathan Preston. Going off fifth out of Cowlsville, New York, the Fiberworks Composite 49, the Straight Shooter, Scott Kruder. And going from sixth out of Oswego, New York, in the East Coast Seal Coat 54 Junior, that'll be Steve Hutchinson Jr. Starting in seventh, the birthday girl out of Ontario, New York, the Golden Triangle Fire Protection 10H, that is Kelly Hebing. And starting at 8th out of Ontario, New York as well, the E-Lab Smokers Boutique 121 is Steve Glover. Going from 9th out of Port Colborne, Ontario, the SOS representative in the Gilletta Flooring Services number 22, that is Sean Slider. And going from 10th out of Warsaw, Indiana, the JP Machine Shop 18S, that'll be Michael Summers. So 10 cars in this qualifying heat, 10 laps, 3 more to the A main.
And Greg, you talked about the SOS having a representative here. At the end of qualifying tonight, there are provisionals available. So when we get a chance, when we get a break in the action, if you don't mind filling us in, and I'm sure it'll be Tommy, on how exactly that works.
Ready to come to the green flag in the final qualifying heat. Final 3 spots to come out of the heats into the A main starts right now, and it's the Red Rocket leading them into quarter 2.
Hoopinen leads the way down the back stretch. Mikey Krutchka hanging on to second. He'll head to the outside, coming off at turn number 4, and he'll take the lead.
A couple of weekly Friday night racers at the front of this one. Krutchka's got the lead for now, but Hoopinen hanging right with him on that bottom side. Donath with a problem in the 53.
He was fast and hot laps, and now troubles for the 53 of Sean Donath. He will stop to the high side of corner number 3.
The fact that he didn't turn right to head into the pits makes me think that possibly the car just jumped out of gear on him.
That's something we haven't really talked about tonight, and I know for sure that there are some new sprint car fans in the crowd because there always are on Nationals weekend, so we should mention the cars do not have starters, they do not have transmissions, they are direct drive, so if they jump out of gear, they cannot go back into gear without stopping first, and they do need a push to start.
You know, I never noticed this. I'm looking on my screen at this car, but there's not much opening on the left side of the race car to look out of. There's a lot of aero work on that race car.
And also driver protection as well. A lot of the drivers now will put some sort of a bar or a panel there to just offer a little bit of protection to keep stuff out of the cockpit.
And have you seen the rules for next year, Tommy? Some of the safety stuff that the whole sprint car industry has gotten together on. I think that's a great thing.
Well, guys, you used to not be able to have a enclosed compartment here. They've just updated those rules in the past couple of seasons.
Green flag back in the air, single file pass it going. Mikey Krutchka leading the way in the sixth qualifying heat with Jim Hoopinen and Jonathan Preston right behind them.
Driver who did not get a good start. He's trying to fight back now, but Scott Kruder is much further back than we would have thought from that 49 machine.
Yeah, Kruder was quick in hot laps, but has not been able to do much since then. And he's mired back there in a dogfight for that 5th position. Now he gets around one car, but still a long way out of a transfer. Meanwhile, up front, there's a fight going on for the lead.
Home track regulars, Mikey Krutchka and Jim Hoopinen duking it out right now. Jim Hoopinen, a 2-time track champion here at Ohsweken Speedway. He's now going to start to feel some heat from Jonathan Preston, and the 22P is working that outside line.
Well, and Krutchka's maintained that same line here for the first few laps. He goes to the bottom now in 1 and 2, and hopefully for Krutchka, Hoopinen and Preston will start to duke it out and he'll be able to drive away. But right now, all 3 of these drivers in that battle as we reach the halfway point.
Preston right on the tail end of Hoopinen down the front stretch the last time, and now he makes a move to the outside and takes over that 2nd spot for the moment.
Michael Summers pulls the 18S into the infield, so he'll be done for this qualifying heat, but he'll come back to the B main with Mikey Krutchka out in front, Preston and Hoopinen going back and forth for that 2nd spot.
Oh, problems for Krutchka.
In stereo, even. Mikey Krutchka brings out the caution flag, leading this qualifying heat race. Sorry, Adam.
Man, no, that was great. Last night,
tune we've been all year.
It really was. I don't want that to happen again. Last night, Mikey Krutchka had issues with his arm restraints. They got hung up in the steering wheel. He had some problems there, and he pulled off. And we talked about it earlier today, saying, you know, sometimes it's good to have a little bit of bad luck. The Brown brothers, one had power steering issues last night, the other broke a drive shaft. Sometimes that's why you have preliminary nights.
I got him here, Adam. Mikey, you were running this so good. What's the deal here on the zero?
About a lap earlier, got a heavy vibration, and I just looked down at the oil pressure. It was about 20 pounds, and I don't know, man. It's a bummer, dude. I didn't feel like much of a race car driver yesterday, but I was on the gas tonight, and man, I feel like we're going to get that one going away, and I don't know. We'll see what's up when I get back to the pits.
All right, there, hear it from Mikey Krutchka. He was out front doing his best, and he's had some bad luck like this a couple times tonight, guys, or this year.
Well, and Krutchka is a great example of a driver who has no hope at a provisional, right, Greg?
No, he would not. Did not complete the entire season, and I'm sure he's so far down in the standings with the Ohsweken regulars that the chances of him being able to use a provisional are all but slim.
Because they'll give provisionals to the clubs that race at Ohsweken and the Ohsweken Speedway home track points.
Let's let Tommy.
So we have 6 affiliate sanctions: Great Lakes Super Sprint, Southern Ontario Sprints, Empire Super Sprints, Patriot Sprint Tour, NRA Invaders from Ohio, and also our home track drivers. And so if one of their representatives doesn't make the feature, we will take the top driver in points who's here. So Krutchka, unfortunately, probably not eligible for that.
Keep in mind, a couple of those drivers like Corey Turner, Ryan Turner, they declared themselves SOS because they were 1 and 2 in the standings there. So you never know, but it could be a long trip tonight for Mikey Krutchka.
Speaking of you never know, Scott Kruder was in the 10th position, I believe, when we restarted this race. He is now in 3rd in a transfer spot, and he could pick off a couple more. There's still 2 laps to go. Kruder
started 5th, so he's going to get some passing points. It's just a matter of how many here. Has 2 laps to go. He's catching Jim Hoopinen now.
So it's Preston out in front over Hoopinen and Scott Kruder. Steve Hutchinson Jr. has been back there in 4th, it seems, this entire race, not just able to advance that 1 spot.
Nice move there by Sean Slider to make a pass on the outside. Every position matters as we have the white flag. 1 more lap to go.
Kruder has fallen back from that race for 2nd, as Preston will come around and get the heat race win. 2nd will be Hoopinen, 3rd is Kruder. They will transfer, then it's Hutchinson, Slater, Hebing, and Glover finishing off.
Man, oh man, those were good heat races. 6 heats, 18 cars locked into tonight's feature event. And it's time to go sprint car racing, crate style. The crate sprints, sponsored by Strickland's GMC, are about to come out for their first of 3 qualifying heats.
Can you help? I get it wrong.
3 heats on tap for the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. 6 cars will qualify to tonight's feature event out of each of our qualifying heats. Here's how they're going to line up in heat race number 1. On the pole out of Ancaster, the 51 is Trevor Young. Outside of row 1 from Windsor, the Jeff's Roofing, Bateman Trucking, Quality Automotive, number 24, Jeff Newham. Second row on the inside from Beamsville, the Schneider Electric J&E Recovery, number 1A is Paul Klager. And alongside him from Hamilton, the Burger Barn Ace 1 Construction, number 56, Derek Lemaire. Row 3 on the inside, he's doing double duty here tonight from Port Colborne, the Lakeshore High School, number 5D is Jacob Dykstra, and outside him from Waterford, Ontario, the Ohsweken Speedway, number 12 is Brad Herron. Starting 7th from Salmon Arm, British Columbia, number 26, John Verney. Starting 8th from Binbrook, the Mac Tools, Brian Chaston Float Service, Smooth's Garage, number 29, Liam Martin. Rolling off 9th from Brantford, the Massage Pro, Detmer Tire, number 49L is Lucas Smith. And shotgun on the field, driver the number 68, Case IH. Rochester Nighthawk sponsored entry from right here in Ohsweken. It's Aaron Turkey. 10 cars make up the qualifying heat. Top 6 will qualify. And with the track getting as slick as it is, there's going to be a noticeable difference in the RPMs these engines run, but they're not that much slower on a slick racetrack than the 360s that we just watched. Really, the biggest player here is inexperience of a lot of these drivers compared to their 360 counterparts.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the lap times. They were running about mid 14 seconds by the end of the heat races for the 360s, so these crate cars will probably be about a second off that pace, not too far off, really, as Young will come around and lead lap number 1.
Man, Trevor Young and Derek Lemaire, a couple of the older drivers in this class up to the front, and another older driver, Paul Klager, in the 1A. So age is working here in heat race number 1 as the top 3 have pulled away a little bit from Jeff Newham in the 24, and then just a gaggle of cars battling for 5th on back.
A good race developing already for that lead between Lemaire and Young, but Young wiggles a little bit in corner 2, and that allows Lemaire to take the lead.
Aaron Turkey started all the way at the back of this race. He's up into a transfer spot, but Lucas Smith is there as well. That's going to be a tough battle for 5th and 6th on back.
Trevor Young now holding off for now Paul Klager as they race through corner 2. Behind them, it's 3 wide between Newham, Smith, and Turkey for the 5th spot.
Aaron Turkey had backed out a couple of times on the outside, but that time he got a good run off the corner, kept his foot to the floor, and he'll take that position as they go past the halfway point of this one.
So Klager now has taken the 2nd spot away from Trevor Young, but the yellow will come out for the 26 of John Verney, who has spun in corner 1.
John Verney shares that ride with Terry Baker.
Yeah, kind of an interesting arrangement there. John Verney used to be a local here in Ontario, but moved away to BC a few years ago and still flies in when he can to race that car. He and Terry Baker have split it the last 2 seasons, but Baker has run it more times than Verney, obviously.
Yeah, Baker and has really picked up the speed in recent weeks as Terry Baker. So John Verney has big shoes to fill now.
I've noticed that over the last few weeks, there's several crate drivers who've really picked up the pace. Trevor Young has gotten significantly faster over the last month or so, I would say. And he's up there in 2nd right now in that 51 car as we did go back to the last completed lap, it looks like, and Young was still in front of Klager at that point.
And I'll tell you, another driver who was well documented on social media, he destroyed his car on the front stretch early this year, is Davey Boughton, the driver of the 18X. and watching him last week and his return to competition, and he was faster than I remember seeing him in the spring. So it's really nice to see people, because racing, it's very easy to fall off as the year goes on. If things aren't going your way, it's much more challenging to find more speed as the season goes on and make those improvements. It's a tough sport.
Don't get a lot of practice time, and so if you're not in the feature, then you're already losing laps to some of your competitors right away.
We just got a report they're changing the engine in the Mikey Krutchka number 0, so we'll expect to see him out in the B main.
Back underway here, Lemaire, a veteran of the sportsman and modified divisions, and now in the great sprints for the Burger Barn team. He sees Trevor Young back to the inside now in corner 3.
Yeah, Young down on the bottom, Derek Lemaire up on the high side. They're taking up a lot of real estate there out in front, but they look to be faster than some of the hot shoes. Jacob Dykstra, Lucas Smith, and Aaron Turkey running 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Jacob Dykstra back in the crate car tonight after running very well in the 360 last night. But he sees that position slip away to Lucas Smith, who's got the front wing laid down on the 49, so not too much downforce on the front end of that car.
No, that'll make it challenging and probably a little unpredictable going in the corner, but checkers are out. Derek Lemaire, Paul Klager, Trevor Young, Lucas Smith, Jacob Dykstra, and Aaron Turkey are qualified for the feature, and they're, just like you said, they're a second slower than the 360s, 15.5-second laps. Time for my evening shout out to Noah watching from Cambridge online. And Noah messages me during the broadcast every week. You gonna say my name tonight? No, Noah for a long time. Great young man.
We've got people watching from all over the place. I had a message earlier today from a guy who used to live around here, now lives in Newfoundland, and he wanted to know what time we were starting because he was trying to figure out with his clock, he's an hour and a half ahead of us. So
yeah, and I said we just had someone chime in from Germany. That's exciting. Wow. Heat race number 2. It's late in Germany. It's almost early in Germany tomorrow. Josh Hansen out of Beamsville, Ontario, the J&E Recovery Superior Petro Fuels number 88H is going to lead them off. On the outside of the front row from Thamesford, Ontario, the Vipon Fire Protection Downer car number 6, it's Curtis Gartley. Row 2 on the inside from Ohsweken, the Canada Fuels Nitro 54 Variety 9C is Brian Nanakoke. To his outside from Vanessa, Ontario, the Oakwood Transportation Lucas Oil number 4, Hannah Farrell. Number 74 from Rockwood, Ontario, the Radio Shuttle sponsored machine of Rob Neely. And to his outside from Burlington, the 4B Oakwood Transportation entry of Jeremy Hughes. Starting 7th from Brantford, the McDonald's number 9 of Paul Ballantyne. And to his outside from Ransomville, New York, the 7F is Matt Farnham. Starting 9th from Union, Ontario, the Wilson's Used Cars, number 6M of Eric McGlone, and rounding out the field from Brampton, Ontario, the Lifto, number 70MM of Dave McKnight Jr.
Guys, I'd like to get a couple things in. Eric McGlone wasn't racing, went to Eldora, won $5,000 in the 50-50 there. Do you think he put it into school? No, told his dad, we're getting the car back on the track, we're going racing. What a great deal. And Matt Farnham came off in his only event in the Action Sprint Tour final at Humberstone and won it in his first ever crate. So 2 cars to watch, the 6 and 7 guys.
We're putting the band back together. You got to be old to enjoy the Blues Brothers, but I did.
So we're underway here. Lap number 1 about to be on the board, and Hannah Farrell will lead it as she squeaks around Hansen and into the lead on lap 1. Hansen back to 2nd, then it's Nanakoke 3rd.
I can't help myself. I am riveted to the 70 of Dave McKnight Jr. I've watched him since I was a kid. Race super modifieds, TQ midgets, everything. And the one thing that he always did was race as hard as you can possibly race. And he's working his way up towards the transfer spot, and he's not afraid to run up on the cushion of the racetrack.
No, Dave has no fear. He's a 20-year-old trapped in a 50-year-old man's body for sure.
That was pretty generous. 50 years old is pretty generous.
50-something, we'll say. But he's figuring it out back there. Meanwhile, up front, it is still the 4 of Hannah Farrell driving away with this one after 4 laps.
Her team car, Jeremy Hughes in the 4B, has the 6th position, that all-important final transfer spot. But Rob Neely right behind him looks to the outside. He'll get a good run down the back straightaway in the 74.
So Farrell continues to lead. Nanticoke now has taken over the 2nd spot from Hansen. So Hansen, who got a feature win a couple weeks ago, loses a spot, but now side by side again down the back straightaway.
Fighting back for it is Josh Hansen on the inside. He'll go up in front of Brian Nanticoke and steal his line with 2 laps to go. Nanticoke pulls to the outside, says not so fast. I'm not done with this battle. Whoa, Matt Farnham goes around in turn number 2. 360, gets on the throttle, and he is still in the transfer spot.
Good work by Farnham there. His first time here at Ohsweken, as far as I know. And still that fight for second rages on. Hansen's gotten it back from Nanticoke now.
Hansen starting to drive away. Checkered flag going to fly this time for Hannah Farrell in the number 4 machine. She'll take the win over Josh Hansen. 3rd to Brian Nanticoke, 4th to Eric McGlone, 5th to Farnham, 6th to Rob Neely. They qualify. Headed to the B main are Paul Ballantyne, Jeremy Hughes, Dave McKnight, and Curtis Gartley. And I just got a pretty neat comment saying that we've got guys over in Mali and Iraq that watch, but they can't comment on the feed. Race number 3 is on the racetrack now, and here's how they're going to line up. On the pole out of London in car number 7, the Pinewood Horticultural Services number 7 is Caleb Wood. Outside him from 6 Nations, it's Josh Hill in the 69. Row 2 on the inside from Gore's Landing, the Mayhew Graphics. Number 19 is Brandon Merle, and alongside him from Font Hill, the Seminex Esso, first choice number 08, Stephen Beckett. Row 3 on the inside from St. Catharines, the Gilletta Flooring Services number 22 junior of Al Gilletta Jr. And to his outside from Beachville, the DeGroot Hill number 5 is DJ Christie. Starting 7th out of Ohsweken, the number 28 is Jordan Hill, and alongside him from Niagara Falls, the Pro Battery Shop's number 70 is Bailey Hurd. Starting 9th out of Carlisle, the load covering trailers, Gales Auto Aftermarket number 18X is Davey Bowden, and rounding out the field from Hagersville, the Gibbs Action Sports Dernan Motors number 43H, it's Dave Bailey. Dave Bailey, our 4-time defending Thunderstock champion, looking to get his feet wet in open wheel action. Of course, his racing career started in go-kart, so he's run open wheel before. And we're about to go green on our final heat race of the night.
So here we go again. 8 laps the distance on this one, and it's the 7 car of Wood out to the early lead. Merle in 2nd, and a good race for the 2nd and 4th spots there.
Great battle there as Bailey Hurd makes a nice move to the outside to pick up the 6th position. Caleb Wood, once he gets out front, we've seen Caleb Wood streak away a couple of times in that white and green number 7 machine, very smooth up on the cushion.
Yeah, looks very nice looking car too. TJ up here was just mentioning how nice some of these cars are in this crate division as they really continue to improve each and every year. But they've strung out single file up front, and then it's a gaggle of them at the back of the pack, all fighting over that about the 6th position on back.
Yeah, Jordan Hill got out of shape in turn 2, so that kind of accordion people together there. The last lap is Dave Bailey battling with Davey Boughton in 1 and 2 towards the back of the field, but up front they are still duking it out here as Hill is not going away in that 69.
Hill has been another driver who's picked it up over the last few months in that car, and he's trying to chase down Wood, who's still running that nice smooth line around the outside, but it's a lot shorter around that inside. Almost, it's a third of a mile around the inside and 3/8 around the outside, basically.
It is a big difference. Such a wide racetrack out there. And it's a handful tonight. That's a tough one to get a hold of as we see DJ Christie getting squirrely up there in turn 3. He's running in the 3rd spot. He'll maintain that position, but that was a bit of a moment up there in the corner for him.
And Hill got to the inside of Wood there momentarily in corner 2, but couldn't make the move stick yet. But back to the inside in corner 4. White flag in the air. And Hill trying to get stealing this heat race win away.
Yeah, Josh Hill doing a great job on the bottom of that 69. Caleb Wood, as we said, loves the cushion. He's very smooth up there. The checkered flag's in the air. Who's it gonna be?
Too much momentum up there for Wood. He will get the win. 2nd is Hill. 3rd is Christie. 4th will be Morrill. 5th is Beckett. And 6th in the final transfer will be the Jordan Hill number 28 car. So Hurd, Boughton, Gilletta, and Bailey will go to the B main. And Bailey just kind of getting his feet wet in that 43H crate sprint car. Of course, an at least 8-time champion in street stocks and thunder stocks around the province. But
well, heck, he won 3 championships last season alone, or did he win the duel in the dirt as well?
No, the last 2 years he won all 3 championships 2 years running.
All
and
right.
the duel on the dirt as well.
We've got some cars that need to be moved. A blue Toyota Echo CCET 735. A black Ford Edge BWVS 771. A black Honda Civic BVCT 792. And a white Honda Accord CARD 093.
First of 3 B mains onto the racetrack for the 360 sprint cars in preparation for tonight's Canadian Sprint Car National main event. Starting from the pole in B main number 1. That'll right here in Six Nations, Ontario, the Town Line Variety 77X. The Six Nations sensation, Alex Hill, alongside going second out of Carlisle, Ontario. The Nitro 54 Variety number 9 is Steve Lyons. Starting in 3rd out of Caister Center, the Town Line Variety 97 is Corey Turner. And starting in 4th out of Brewerton, New York, the Pit Stop Convenience Stores 87 of Racing, Jason Barney. Starting in 5th out of Sparrow Bush, New York, the Profab number 56 is Billy Van Inwigen. And going from 6th out of Scotland, Ontario, the Ackland Insurance 87X, that is Sean Evans. Going from 7th out of Ransomville, New York, the Young Drivers of Canada, number 18 of Ryan Susi. And starting in 8th out of Syracuse, New York, the Grand Homes Construction, number 13 of Keith Grano. Starting in 9th out of Caister Center, the Kingpin Farms number 91 will be Ryan Turner. And from 10th out of Vernon, New York, the Prestige Pool and Spa 67 is Pete Richardson. Starting at 11th out of Charing Cross, the ERW Contracting 9B is Scott Burke. And going from 12th out of Port Colborne, Ontario, the Lakeshore Catholic High School 5D is Jacob Dykstra. Starting in 13th out of London, the 4x Design 15 SOS is the president, Mike Farrell. And alongside 14th out of Delhi, the Ohsweken Speedway 1 is Holly Porter. Going from 15th out of Stouffville, Ontario, the Danico Structures. Number 1C is the gunslinger, Ryan Hunsinger. And going from 16th out of Port Byron, New York, the Highside Raceway number 2 is Dave Axton. So those are the 16 cars that have been called to B main number 1. It'll be 12 laps, and get this, guys, only 2 will transfer.
That is unbelievable to look at this field of drivers and consider only 2 of them are going to make it into the show through qualifying. We may see some of them through provisionals.
Yeah, if we do not need to sanction provisionals or the guaranteed starting spots, then the 3rd and 4th place finishers in the B mains may be eligible to start in positions 25 through 30. So it is important, even if you're not in the top 2, to race as hard as you can and try to take one of those last 3 or one of those last couple spots in 3rd or 4th in a B main.
Every time you're on the racetrack tonight, it is going to matter. We are going green out of turn 4. The 13 of Keith Granum looks like he is elected to start at the back. That shuffles up the order a little bit. I believe that moves. Who is that moved up a little bit on the outside? And the yellow flag is out, so I believe they're trying to sort out some things in the starting order. Yeah, the 87 of Sean Evans is not showing up on electronic timing and scoring, but he is indeed in the 6th spot.
15 SOS down, 1 ahead of the 2. Lights out, drivers, lights out, from the green.
Lights are out, top 2 to transfer to the A main. And then from there on back, every position matters. But you really got to dig and fight to get into the top two to guarantee you're in the show here tonight. Alex Hill, Steve Lyons will bring us to the green. We are underway with the first of 3 B mains.
Steve Lyons loves a slippery racetrack. The driver of the 9 machine on the outside, but Alex Hill getting the jump on the bottom, and Jason Barney to the high side.
Not used to seeing Jason Barney in a B main, as he's got to try to fight his way in. And very close racing there between Lyons, Barney, and Turner.
He thought about making a move on the outside on the front stretch, thought better of it. Now he's into the second spot, but Corey Turner's going to put the pressure on him.
12 laps is a long race, guys. You know, you'll find your line, you'll run your line, you might search for something different, but things are going to change, and we're going to see some wild action.
Corey Turner has got something going on with the left front of his car. Every time he gets on the brakes, you can see sparks flying out of the inside of that left front wheel. And he's fighting with Billy Van Inwagen for that third spot at the moment. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much right now.
Right now out in front, it's Alex Hill leading over Jason Barney. Then you've got that fight for third with Corey Turner and Billy Van Inwagen. And then from fifth on back, wow, it's a hornet's nest with Sean Evans leading that pack.
Ryan Susie trying to make his way through the field as Alex Hill bobbles in turn number 2. That'll close things up.
So Hill still has the lead here. Then it's Barney in second. And these positions, if you're in a transfer spot, they do matter, because that's another position you move forward in the lineup for the feature. So even though they're in transfer spots, they can't rest too much.
Cross flags in the air, 6 in, 6 to go for Alex Hill over Jason Barney. Those two are secured in transfer spots at this moment. Billy Van Inwagen and Corey Turner continue to go back and forth, slide job after slide job.
Fun to watch. Turner going to slide him again down into 3. He'll come across the nose of Van Inwagen. Van Inwagen turns down the racetrack and passes him back off of 4.
Those guys are racing as hard as they can for that third spot. They know that it's definitely important to finish third rather than fourth and guarantee a better shot at a provisional starting spot. Up front, Hill is going to see some traffic now in the 77X.
Of the drivers at the front right now, Corey Turner probably the most secure. SOS champion, and that is who he came in sanctioned under, is with the SOS, so he's probably still feeling confident, but still would like to race his way in.
What a battle he's having with Billy V in the white 56 down into 1 and 2. Here comes Ryan Susie in the 18, another driver who probably does not have a provisional to back up on.
No, Susie's has got to go right now and try to get that fourth spot away from Van Inwagen. And now look at the traffic that Hill and Barney are dealing with.
Looks like Hill has cleared that traffic for the most part out of 4. She'll see the white flag in the air.
One more time around with Jason Barney in the thick of the lap traffic. Now he'll move to the inside of Dave Axton and try and set his sights on Alex Hill. Corey Turner right now solidly in third.
Checkered flag going to fly for Alex Hill. She'll take the win. Jason Barney second. Third goes to Corey Turner. Billy V in fourth. Ryan Susie fifth. Steve Lyons sixth. And it's Holly Porter, Ryan Turner, Sean Evans, Jacob Dykstra. All of our crate racers were in the same B main. Don't forget, folks, if you're enjoying this show and you're watching online, please feel free to share the feed. We want as many eyeballs as we can have on tonight's show.
So main number 2 ready to come out onto the speedway again. It'll be 12 laps, and the top 2 will transfer to the A main. Starting on the pole out of Fremont, Ohio, the Ronnie French commercial washer and dryer, number 28G, that'll be Phil Gressman. Starting second out of Harding, Pennsylvania, the mechanical service company, number 79, that is Jordan Thomas. Rolling off third out of Cloverdale, Ohio, the M&W Construction 17, it's Jared Horseman. And starting in 14th out of Brantford, the Hills Tire and Gas, Little Bend 110, is Jake Brown. Going off fifth out of Clay, New York, the Longley Jones Company's number 98, that'll be Joe Trenka. And going from sixth out of Brantford, the Stewart's Barbecue, number 10, downtown, Mitch Brown. Starting in 7th out of Durhamville, New York, the Buell Fuels 19K, that's Paul Kinney. And going from 8th out of Shenango Forks, New York, the Scorpion Security Products 14 is Coleman Gulick. Starting in 9th out of Caledonia, the Burger Barn 55T, it's Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne. And starting alongside him, the 10th spot out of Stephentown, New York, the Reifenberg Contracting Corporation, number 90 is Matt Tanner. Starting at 11th out of Sharon Springs, New York, the M&W Aluminum 33, Danny Varon. And going from 12th out of Lowville, New York, the Westward Painting Company, number 3 is Denny Peebles. Going from 13th out of Waterdown, Ontario, the Mahoney Inspection Services 5C is Connor Mahoney. And from 14th out of St. Agatha, Ontario, the Cal Tire 18X is Josh Schatz. Going from 15th out of Bath, Ontario, the R&L Asphalt number 16L, that is Roger Levesque. And starting 16th out of Elmer, Ontario, the Folger Transport 44 is Barry Dunn. 16 cars, 12 laps, top 2 to transfer.
You know, one thing I didn't consider, guys, the fact that Corey Turner didn't race his way in through that B main means that his brother Ryan Turner is not going to qualify. Unless they do go back and take third, Ryan would have been second in SOS points.
Yeah.
Use your microphone.
So as soon as the sanction has one representative in the feature, no matter how they get in,
Right.
then there's no more provisionals after
Right.
that.
Okay, so as long as every sanction has one qualified driver.
Which we do now because Corey Turner will take that SOS provisional.
Did you set up this system? Did you make this complicated? I didn't know I was going to need to know algebra.
All you have to know is if the sanction has one person in,
Okay,
then
okay.
the provisional's gone for that sanction.
We're about to go green here at a turn number 4. Jordan Thomas. Hard to believe he would have been in a B main. Phil Grossman in the 28. And Jacob Brown wasted no time in driving to the outside to race for that top spot. Again, the Brown brothers, we got one around in turn 2. I believe he's going to keep the car rolling.
Josh Shantz gets it going, and we stay green. Up front, Gressman and Jordan Thomas going at it. And Jordan Thomas, if he can transfer, could be a candidate to pull off what Brian Howland did a couple of years ago and go from the back to the front in the feature.
Good battle at the front between Gressman and Thomas. He's right there. Thomas down to the inside of Gressman. They'll go wheel to wheel off a corner 2. Thomas will clear him this time down the backstretch.
We've also got Jared Horseman, Coleman, Gulick, both of the Brown brothers all outside of transfer spots.
It's tough to qualify for this feature. 65 cars showed up, only 30 are going to get in. And right now they're all fighting over those 3rd and 4th spots because they know that they're pretty much guaranteed to get into the feature if they can get one of those now.
Mitch Brown up to the 3rd spot. Horseman applying the pressure. We saw Jake Brown had to bite the brakes last time in turn number 2. That cost him a lot of momentum.
Well, that fight for 3rd, you can see the brakes glowing cherry red for downtown Mitch Brown, hard on the binders in the corners as he works to the inside of Jared Horseman. Great battle. One on the very bottom, one on the outside line.
Mitch Brown's really getting a nice drive off the bottom of the racetrack off of turn 2 as we reach the halfway point. 6 laps in, 6 laps to go.
Brown and Horseman are not out of this yet. They're both catching Phil Gressman now as Thomas has pulled a long way away from the 2nd place car, but both Brown and Horseman are catching 2nd place Phil Gressman.
Gressman hit that bump in corner number 3, upset the car a little bit, and that allowed Horseman and Brown to gain a little bit more real estate, and now they are there. Jared Horseman moves to the inside of Gressman. He'll take away the 2nd spot.
Just like being the race leader, Gressman didn't have anyone really challenging him, but Brown and Horseman had to search all over the racetrack trying to find a groove that had worked, so they closed in. They know what their cars are going to do in various spots, and Gressman's in trouble.
Now Mitch Brown into the 3rd position. He'll challenge on the bottom with Jared Horseman. Here they come across the line. Horseman will have the 2nd spot.
Further back, Coleman Gulick in that 14 just is not making the progress I thought that he might out there. He's working on it, but he's running out of laps.
Thought we might have seen Danny Varon make a bit of a charge, but he is mired way back in the field as Thomas got the 2 to go signal the last time by. He's a full straightaway ahead of Horseman now.
Matt Tanner also pulled off the track. Another of those drivers that we thought might be in for a good solid run here tonight, but that will not be the case.
Thomas with one more lap to go. Fairly heavy lap traffic for the young man from Pennsylvania. He'll drive to the inside of Barry Dunn. Checkered flag going to be in the air.
Here's the battle for the final transfer spot. Horseman off the corner. He'll seal the deal. and get ahead of Mitch Brown for that second spot. Brown will finish third, Coleman Gulick fourth, and Phil Gressman drifts back to the fifth spot. So Jordan Thomas and Jared Horseman will punch their tickets into the A main.
We have not been disappointed by a single qualifying race in these 360 sprint cars, whether it's a heat or whether it's a B main. These guys are driving for keeps tonight.
There's a very big difference between starting 30th and finishing just outside of a transfer spot in a B main. It is a very big monetary difference, so they all want that $1,000 to qualify for the feature.
Third and final B main set to come out onto the racetrack will allow two more drivers to punch their tickets into the A main and another 12 lap last chance qualifier. Starting on the pole for this one out of Port Colborne, Ontario, the Gilletta Flooring Services 22. That'll be Sean Slider. And starting alongside in second out of Oswego, New York, in the East Coast Seal Code 54 Junior, it's Steve Hutchinson Jr. Going off third out of St. Catharines, Ontario, the Overland RNC 80, the real deal, Chris Steele. And going from fourth out of Waterdown, Ontario, the Renault Mac Construction 0C is Cole McDonald. Starting in fifth out of Wayland, New York, the Empire Tractor 47, that'll be Kyle Drum. And going from the sixth spot out of Ontario, New York, the Golden Triangle Fire Protection 10H, that's Kelly Hebing. Starting in seventh out of Amsterdam, New York, the Miller Excavating and Landscaping 88C, Chad Miller. And going from eighth out of Ontario, New York, the Elap Smokers Boutique 121 is Steve Glover. Starting in ninth out of Warsaw, Indiana, in the JP Machine Shop 18S, it's Michael Summers. And going from 10th out of Germantown, Ohio, the Germantown Veterinary Clinic 28H, it's Gene Hud Horton. Starting in 11th out of Middletown, New York, the Grand Rental Stations 30, that is Scott Goodrich. And going from 12th out of Caister Center, the Charlie V Honey 11, it'll be Jamie Turner. Starting in the 13th spot with a fresh engine under the hood out of Hamilton, Ontario, the Case IH0, that'll be Mikey Krutchka. And starting in 14th, probably not going to make the call, no he won't, Dan Nanakoke. And 15th scheduled to go out of Syracuse, New York, Sean Donath, but he won't make the call either. So this B main had a couple of casualties, could have had more, but the Steyrs Racing crew got the new engine under the hood for Mikey Krutchka, so he is back, but Dan Nanakoke, Sean Donath not able to make the call.
What a job by that crew to get that work done, and this is going to be another good one. Remember, folks, only the top two.
Scott Goodrich also not out here for this third B main. Green is out, two more spots on the line. 12 laps the distance. Steve Hutchinson Jr. leads the way over Sean Slider.
Chris Steele was quick to make a move. He's up there in the third spot. He'll drive the inside through 3 and 4.
So pretty much right now, if you finish in the top 4, you're going to get into the feature tonight. So top 2 definitely matter, but top 4 really matter as Cole McDonald loses a position now to Chad Miller.
Across the stripe, Hutchinson Jr. will lead the lap over Sean Slider. That's 2 in, 10 laps left to go. Steele and Cole McDonald duking it out third and fourth, and then Kyle Drum back there in fifth. He gets a great charge on McDonald.
Drum up the inside as Mikey Krutchka headed pit side in that Zero machine. And we got a problem up in turn 4, a car slow. Michael Summers, oh, that is not the way to stop.
Man, that is, I think he's got something wrong with the steering or something.
Has to be.
You would not want to point yourself in that direction at all.
This is when we're thankful for the quality of the lighting here at Ohsweken.
And for one-way radios and for corner workers and everybody. Just takes a team effort to make sure that everybody's safe out there.
Mikey Krutchka pulled off into the pit area right before that caution flag. I don't think he lost a lap, but he's back out again. Still suffering some ill effects after doing the motor swap.
Man, you got a feel for Mikey Krutchka. He was on the TJ Slideways podcast earlier this week and sounded as positive as I've ever heard him coming into the Nationals. He really thought he had a shot to get up there and challenge for the win this year, and he was proving it in the heat race, driving away, and then that engine problem took everything away for him.
It's a humbling sport. Racing is such a cruel venture. You know, even if the steering on the Michael Summers 18 didn't go away, it's possible the steering wheel comes right off on these race cars. There's so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah, when the corner worker came to him, you could see from the video that the wheel was in his hands, but it wasn't attached to anything. So very possible they just had to get that reattached in the right place.
I don't know if you guys remember, Greg, you might. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Dane Nida lost the steering wheel at speed in corner 2 and somehow got it back on and kept going. And we found out after the race that he'd done that. And that's just crazy. I'm glad we don't see that too often.
Sprint car drivers are a special breed of humanity.
Dale Junior Nations shouting, I've seen that, when he did it in the Cup car as well. Grabbed the steering rod there and just held onto it, got the wheel back on. I'm not sure which would feel worse, the throttle sticking or the steering wheel just not being attached to anything.
I'd like to think that's a pretty close tie.
Yeah.
Either way, there's going to be a change of undergarments after that happens. Green flag in the air. Hutchinson right now leads it over the Real Deal, Chris Steele. Here comes Kyle Drum. He's been working well here in this B main.
Drum trying to work his way up to second. Boy, oh boy, that was close entering turn 3, and Drum almost loops it.
Here comes Sean Slater working to the outside of the Real Deal. Chris Steele trying to get second. He slides up in corner 2.
I think that line will work in 3 and 4. I'm not sure it's the way to go in 1 and 2 as Slater goes for a big hop.
Slater is another of the drivers who signed in under the SOS banner tonight, and he's trying to go in through the front door here, but right now he loses that position to Kyle Drum, who now something went wrong on the 47 car for Drum as that car just turned completely around entering corner 3.
Well, if I had to guess, he hopped the bricks down in corner 1 last time by, and he got some major air time, and I'm pretty sure he did some damage to the front of that car, and very possibly that is what caused him to go around. Maybe we can get a replay on that, but Kyle Drum hit the blocks hard down in corner 1.
He was fortunate the way the car snapped around on him that he actually didn't stuff it into the end of the concrete wall entering turn 3. Clinton Jeffrey is on the scene.
You've called it exactly right, Greg. Flat left front, so whatever contact you saw, flat in the left front here. The rim appears to be intact, maybe bent up a little bit, but not normally the big dent you'd see when a rim hits that concrete wall. But yeah, tough break for Kyle Drum. Flat tire here, going to get him out of this one.
And he had been really making his move towards the top 2 and contending in that number 47, and now his night will come to an end and will go on the hook. Steve Hutchinson Jr., Chris Steele, the top 2. Sean Slater having a great race up there in 3rd.
It's a great battle, only 5 laps down, 7 laps to go.
Yeah, he said there's 2 minutes. You want to announce it?
Well, guys, he's going to take his 2 minutes in the work area to try and get this left front fixed. So the cars will have to pace around for 2 minutes once he reaches his pit stall. But with that being said, should be a fairly easy fix.
So still to come, we have the pole dash race. Then a brief intermission before we go to the Crete Sprint Car A main, and then our 35-lap main event, the 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, supercharged by Nitro 54 variety. Here's the replay. We're going to get to see here it is down in corner 1, and Kyle Drum skips it off the wall. And that was enough to damage the left front for the 47 to Kyle Drum. He goes into corner 3, and oops, it doesn't work anymore. Tyler Rand, who competes in the sprint car division, sent me a message. Wanted to give a shout out to Brian Jordan, who's attending his first ever sprint car national. So I hope you're having a fun time, Brian Jordan. He's had some medical problems in the past that kept him from being able to attend the shows. But he, along with Josh, are here tonight and enjoying the Sprint Car Nationals. So glad you could join us, Brian and Josh.
We've mentioned Chris Steele a couple of times tonight, running in the second spot right now. Just want to take a moment to give a shout out to his sponsors, Overland R&C, Golfy Concrete and Drain, TriStar Forming, and Fleet Contracting. They all put up some money to pay not just the top Ohsweken driver in the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals tonight, but they're going to pay the top 5. So the second highest Ohsweken driver is going to get $200, third highest $150, then $150. So a little extra cash in the Ohsweken drivers' pockets, courtesy of Chris Steele's sponsors. So we thank them for that.
Well, guys, back here in the pits, Kyle Drum's crew going to work on the left front. They've got the broken one off. They've got the new one bolted on. They're just putting on the last 2 bolts, and he'll be ready to come back out. Kyle Drum going to make it back out for the B main.
Then we want to thank VictoryGames.com for bringing us tonight's live stream. And of course, Aero Express and Nitro 54 Variety. Aero Express run by Kurt Stiers. And without Kurt, we wouldn't be able to have these nationals each and every year. And of course, Dan Anacoke and Nitro 54 Variety, keeping it all in U.S. funds and keeping this a huge marquee event, the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. So thanks to them. Just want to thank Lucas Oil Products, our Victory Lane sponsor. They do a lot here at the Speedway, along with Case IH, and we've got Pinty's Delicious Foods, Strickland's, Nathan Ackland Insurance, Burger Barn. So many great supporters here at the Speedway. Epic Racewear. The winner of the Nationals tonight gets a race suit as well. Not just our 4 champions at the end of the year, but the winner of this race as well. And there we go. Kyle Drum is back on track. His night is not over yet. So I counted him down and out a little bit too soon, but he's got a lot of work to do. 7 laps to charge to the front, but he still has a chance.
You know, pit crews, they want everything to go well, they want to win, but when they get to the chance to do something like that, change a tire when it really matters, that's what they're here for.
Exactly, and they have done the work, and now we'll see if it'll pay off. 7 laps left to go. Hutchinson right now ahead of Steele and Slider.
Kyle Drum picks off a couple there in turn number 2. He's got a long way to go, but there's still 6 laps left. We are just at the halfway point.
Yeah, Drum works by Summers and Glover at the back of the pack. At the front, Slider beginning to drop through the field as Chad Miller gets by, as does Cole McDonald.
Cole McDonald, that's impressive out there. Oh, he has to take evasive action from Slider through turn 4.
Slider's got the wing in the trunk, as they say. Got it slid all the way back on the 22 car. And look at Drum, who's made up a bunch of spots already. He is definitely not out of this. If he gets up into the top 4, he's probably going to transfer into the feature.
What a storyline that would be. It's Hutchinson right now, your leader, over Miller, who's gotten by Steele. Steele in third, Slider 4th, but he's got company, and it's Kyle Drum marching to the front.
Kyle Drum trying to get to the inside of Slider in this yellow. Well, they were not going yellow. I can't believe he was able to drive through that. Cole McDonald with a nice save and a battle for the lead.
Chad Miller takes it over, but Hutchinson drives back to the inside. Almost contact there in corner 4, and now Chris Steele gets to the inside of Miller for second.
All this kerfuffle has allowed Kyle Drum to reel in the top 3. Miller goes around in front of Drum. Drum skates by. He's in third. Miller stays going. We're still green.
And now the yellow will come out because Miller cannot keep it going. Made a valiant effort there, but just could not keep the power under the 88C.
Well, I think he might have thought better of what he had done there. Do a 360 and realize, whoa, my chances just went up in smoke. I think he kept it running and then probably wisely rolled to a stop.
Guys, if you're not a Kyle Drum fan by nature normally, you are right now. What a drive. He's up to the 3rd spot. Just got by Chad Miller as he was spinning. We'll see the replay here in the tower, and Miller goes around, and oh, right there goes Kyle Drum by.
And that would have been a bad one.
Oh, it would have been bad in multiple ways, not just the impact, but to come back all the way back up into the 4th spot and then have that happen. It would have been bad emotionally as well as physically.
We're going green out of turn number 4. We're going to finish off this B main, the final B main for the 360 sprints, and then we got a crate sprint B main right afterwards.
Hutchinson, Steele, and Kyle Drum, the top 3. Sean Slider there, but Hud Horton will go by him.
Guys, somebody hit the cone down there. The officials are trying to figure out who it was. And so that may come into play. 3 wide for the lead on the last lap.
From 3rd to the lead, Kyle Drum found a lane on the outside line. Can you believe it? He's to the top spot, leads into 3.
What a move. They were 3 wide off of turn number 4. Checkers in the air and a well-deserved win for Kyle Drum. Chris Steele comes home 2nd. Hutchinson 3rd's got to be wondering what the heck just happened.
Well, if you like storylines, that was a great one. Went to the pit area to fix the left front.
Can we get a replay on that restart?
They are requesting a replay on the restart.
We are using all means necessary to find out who's been naughty.
7-3 to the Scales drivers. It's 47.
Okay, and I'm going to stand next to Mike Hemhoff. He is up here peeled. So we just need to look at that restart, Spencer, to see who clipped the cone.
Well, we got to be sure.
Spencer down in the dungeon. He runs the show.
Unbelievable job by Kyle Drum. Fixes the left front. His crew has to be elated in the pits. Restarts up in the top 3 and then drives around the outside in the lane that he chose to get by. There was barely enough room for his car to go through, and he got through there.
Maybe shoot Spencer a message and make sure he's able to get it, but I would think he could bring that up for us, going back to that final restart. I'll announce the starting lineup of the Crate Sprints B main.
Gotta go Scales, guys.
Starting on the pole from Niagara Falls, the Pro Battery Shop's number 70 is Bailey Hurd. On the outside of row 1 from Brantford, the McDonald's number 9 is Paul Ballantyne. Number 12 starts in 3rd. The Ohsweken Speedway sponsored machine from Waterford is Brad Heron. And starting 4th out of Carlisle, the load covering trailers Gales Auto Aftermarket number 18 X is Davey Boughton. Starting 5th from Binbrook, the Mac Tools Brian Chaston Float Service Smoots Garage number 29 is Liam Martin. Starting 6th, the 4B out of Burlington, Jeremy Hughes. Starting 7th from Brampton, the Lifto number 70, Dave McKnight. And starting 8th out of St. Catharines, the Gilletta Flooring Services number 22, Junior Val Gilletta Jr. Starting 9th from Thamesford, Ontario, the Vipon Fire Protection Downer car number 6 is Curtis Gartley. Starting 10th from Hagersville, the Gibbs Action Sports Dernan Motors number 43H is Dave Bailey. Starting 11th to the 24 from Windsor, the Jeff's Roofing Bateman Trucking Quality Automotive 24 is Jeff Newham, and the 26 rounding out the field from Salmon Arm, British Columbia is John Verney.
80 got it, back into. Well, if he don't come back, he's gone, and then
Down into 3 they go. How many transfer out of this one? 6 cars will make it to the feature event tonight. The top 6 right now, Jeremy Hughes has that position. Dave McKnight runs 7th in that black number 70.
Bailey Hurd, who's had some good runs lately, in that 2nd spot, but now he loses it to Brad Heron. Paul Ballantyne continues to lead in the Woodstock Ford number 9.
Ballantyne, and that's not a line we've seen too many people run. He's not quite in the top groove, sort of running the middle groove down there in 1 and 2. The same in 3 and 4. And we got Jeff Newham around in turn 2. So Chris Steele was the driver who got into the cone. What is the outcome of that? Where will he wind up finishing?
So he's probably still safe. He finished 2nd, correct?
Yeah, they docked him 2 spots for hitting the cone. So instead of second, he'll get 4th. And that should be good enough to still transfer.
That poor cone.
Greg, who was it that took the cone for a ride for like a whole heat race one night? Do you
Havard
remember that?
Daniels.
Yeah. The cone got jammed up in the Nerf bar on the side between, just pretty much right next to the driver's compartment.
And it went for the entire race for the ride. Havard.
I wonder if Howard's watching down in New Zealand.
That's a good question. Great guy. It was always great to have Havard Racing with us.
Green is out onto turn number 4, and Paul Ballantyne leads the way down the front stretch into turn 1. Remember, the top 6 get into the show. Right now it's Jeremy Hughes, but John Verney in that blue and black number 26 to the inside. John Verney staying down low. He's got Dave McKnight right behind him in that 70 machine. Paul Ballantyne continues to lead. Oh, Jeremy Hughes goes around. Dave McKnight clips him. Wow. Again, that could have been a bad one.
See the right rear rim bent on the 4B of Jeremy Hughes, the Oakwood Transport machine.
I was explaining to my son Connor earlier who Dave McKnight was, and I remember when he used to run the Mucci Transport number 98 super modified, beautiful race car. But I don't think I've ever seen someone crash as hard as Dave McKnight has in a super modified. I forget where it was that his top wing failed, and we have a look at this replay. Almost had a look at that replay. But the top wing failed on Dave McKnight's car, and I forget where it was, but man, he crashed hard. Some of the crashes he's climbed out of are amazing as we look at the replay, and Dave McKnight took a hard lick, but that car's still running.
Yeah, Jeremy Hughes definitely took the worst of it. We see Clinton Jeffrey down there getting some photos for the live shot. Nice shoes, by the way, Clinton.
Yeah, guys, he's got a flat right rear and some other damage, but Jeremy Hughes still smiling here, gonna get back behind the wheel, but a flat right rear gonna take him out.
Some slick footwear there for Clinton Jeffrey. He's got the Case IH apparel on.
And Kyle sent me a note about Dave McKnight. He thought it was Oxford Plains, Maine. I'm sure it's not, because I was there in person, so it would either have had to have been Cayuga or Oswego or Lancaster.
Oh, Greg, funny story there. You mentioned the Case IH apparel. Casey Smith from O'Neill's and Case IH. I was looking on Facebook, which I live on, and I saw a picture of these cool shoes with Case IH on them. I said, Casey, where do I get a pair of these in size 11? 23 hours later, they were on my desk here ready for last week. So I want to thank Casey. This shows you the amazing service we get from our sponsors at O'Neill's Farm and Garden and Case IH Equipment. Such a major supporter here. They give us all this gorgeous equipment to help make this track as beautiful as it is. Our guys definitely don't want for equipment. They've got everything they need. And if you've never been in one of these Case IH tractors, guys, it's nicer than a 747 cockpit. Leather seats, air conditioning, beautiful stereo, everything you could want. Check them out if you're a farmer or have any need for these tractors. The Case IH are the people you want to talk to, and call our friends at O'Neill's Farm and Garden.
And Clinton, I'm not always a name dropper, but to me this is pretty cool. C.D. Cavill just signed in to watch our stream. He's from the Capital District in New York, and man, could that guy wheel a dirt modified.
Absolutely.
Also, the reason I bring it up, he has recently got iRacing. I'm not going to say how old C.D. Cavill is, but he was my mom's favorite modified racer. So he's not a spring chicken, but he's big into iRacing, Clinton. And this off season, we are going to host some iRacing events and possibly an iRacing league. So keep tuned into the Ohsweken Speedway Facebook page. We want to get people involved in CD. Now I can call you out publicly because I've seen that CD does a lot of racing on iRacing. We expect you to show up for some of our events, CD. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks to everybody for coming out this weekend. Beautiful weather for this race.
Well, the other thing we want to make clear, we are in touch with iRacing, working on getting the track scanned, but it'll take a little bit of time. Here we go. back to it. Paul Valentine leads them off.
Valentine leads them, still running that higher line on the racetrack. Whoa, problems for Gillette as he gets squirrely in turn 2. Dave McKnight again up to that 7th position. That was significant contact he made with the Jeremy Hughes machine, but he is up to speed out there.
Paul Valentine out in front. This is a side-by-side fight with Bailey Hurd and Brad Heron for second. Brad on the bottom, Bailey Hurd on the outside line. Here they come off the line, and Hurd will grab the second spot.
Davey Boughton in a battle of his own with Liam Martin. They race for the 4th position down in 1 and 2. Liam Martin, who won a feature event this year. Car just looks to be a touch off for Liam here tonight.
Halfway home, 6 in, 6 laps left to go in this B main for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. Valentine leads over Hurd and Heron. Then it's Martin and Boughton, your top 5.
They've strung out just a little bit. 6th place was John Verney right now, but Jeff Newham is closing in that 24 machine. Newham's wound up on the short end of the stick a few times this season as John Verney gets sideways, but he might have failed to qualify more than anyone else in this division this year, Greg.
Yeah, had some issues, and you can tell by the mixed match of body panels on that car right now. Had a rough time, but has been solid at other times as well, so I'm sure he'll be back in full force next year. In 2019 here at the Big O, out in front, one of the most improved drivers this year, the 9 of Paul Valentine, and he is out in front over Bailey Hurd, who's got no swing problems on that 70.
Yeah, he's taken a big swing at this 9 machine. He was struggling hard early this season. They found something, got it up to speed. Paul Valentine looking to take home this B main feature event and qualify for tonight's feature.
Stand by, we will see the white flag coming out for Paul Valentine, but the yellow flag will come out for John Verney, who loops it around.
No.
1 or 2.
He was in a transfer spot, but was that one of those old school scorers? Please stand by. Who used to say that?
I have no clue.
Might have been Joe Murata.
That totally sounds like a Joe Murata thing. Roy Sova is here tonight. We should
That's right, Roy.
find him and ask him. But
Roy does make the trip up here to the Sprint Car Nationals, and I enjoy his posts on Facebook. I'm sure you see them as well, Tommy, but you never know what he's going to talk about. But
if you don't know who Roy Sova is, he's the long time announcer at Ohsweken Speedway. Has been there since the 60s and is still going strong. So we love it when he comes down here to Ohsweken, and he loves coming here and commenting and promoting our track for us on Facebook.
Well, and that's what we've become, and I think I can speak for Clinton Jeffrey. I don't know what he's up to out there.
I'm trying to find out what that sign says the 50-50 people are holding up for the back.
$5,000 guaranteed in the 50-50.
All right.
But we've really tried to set Ohsweken Speedway up, and much to the hard work of Glenn Stiers and Clinton Jeffrey and the crew, as a destination, a place that people might plan a road trip to come even once a year.
Everybody on Facebook is saying Joe Murata for sure, so you were right on that one.
Well, I just want to take that to a step further. Our good friend Tony Spiteri from Pinty's, he told me, not only a destination, a physical destination, but a destination in your social circle, a destination in your mind. And that's so true. People thinking about it, talking about it. It's so cool to have the synergy we've got going right now. And I know I've used that big word a few times, but what else can you say? It's kind of like electric here today. And every week, for that matter.
I agree with you, Clinton. We're about to go back to racing 2 laps to get it done.
Paul Valentine leads him down the front straightaway, and it's Brad Heron that checks out a line and looks to the inside of Bailey Hurd looking for the runner-up spot. He's got Liam Martin in tow, and Heron's going to give a charge for the lead.
Wow, what a battle amongst the top 4 as the white flag comes out. Paul Valentine out in front. And Gillette, I think if he cranked that wing once more, it'd be on the car behind him.
Valentine and Heron go back and forth, coming to the checkered flag. It looks like Valentine's going to have the outside line to the win. Heron second, Hurd third. Then it's Liam Martin coming home in the 4th spot over Davey Boughton 5th. Jeff Newham 6th, 7th. Al Gilletta, Dave Bailey in the 8th spot, 9th. Dave McKnight and John Verney will complete the running order in the B main for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division.
And Crystal S., who is sitting in the pits watching some great racing, happy birthday to you. We appreciate you spending it here with us at the Big O Sprint Car Nationals weekend, and that is it. That is it for qualifying as far as who gets in and who does not get in. We still have the dash that's going to determine starting positions 1 through 8 in the Sprint Car Nationals.
Just want to give a shout out. We got a message on Facebook from Mark Ross saying a friend of his, Mark Beauregard, is here from Montreal, a sprint car virgin, he says. So welcome to sprint car racing, Mark.
Well, guys, one thing I want to mention too, the Steyers family, when we planned this event, we ended up postponing it. And one of their relatives booked a wedding today. So Glenn, Tina, Kurt, the family, they're all at a wedding. And I saw Kurt last night and I said, "Are you going to get back?" He said, "One dance and I'm out of there." And I just saw Kurt come in the back door and get signed in. So Kurt, thanks so much for everything that you guys do at Aero Express and with the family here to keep this place rolling. Glenn didn't make it back yet, but Kurt, we love you, brother. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. It's been a special 23 years, and we're going to keep rolling.
And Clint, I've got to say this as well. We'll wait till the cars die down, but what a great job you did this year. The turmoil in last offseason with the parking situation, you had a number of obstacles. I mean, tonight you're up on a ladder. Now, you did read us the riot act saying, "Don't say anything about me being up on a ladder and make fun of me." Clint, I would never poke fun, but I do want to congratulate you on doing a great job this season.
I appreciate it because you guys definitely see all the anger that goes into making it happen. I know I'm very intense, but hey, I just love this place, love what we do. I'm fortunate that my full-time job is to take care of race teams and fans, and lucky as heck, man. Thanks to have you guys here. We have a killer team. Amazing. Glenn just texted me, live stream is badass, boys.
Whole dash coming to the green flag. Parker Price Miller, Jonathan Preston on the front row. Mac Demante, Nida in this along with Davey Frannick, Max Stambaugh, Chuck Hebing, and Devin Doby. Preston to the inside of Parker Price Miller. They drag race down the backstretch.
The accordion closes into turn number 3. All 8 cars just jammed together in 3 and 4.
Preston, your leader on the outside line. Dane Nida on the bottom side. Parker Price Miller running in third, and you've got that number 17 of Max Stambaugh right there in the thick of it as well.
The other 17 of Mac Demand just bounced through turn number 3, loses a spot to Chuck Hebing. Hebing working the middle groove as Demand has to check up in turn 2, but look at Dane Knight on the inside, that Burger Barn number 56.
2 laps left to go for Jonathan Preston, but here comes the law firm. Parker Price Miller gets it wind up in corner 2, but Dane Knight is strong on the bottom.
White flag is out one more time around.
Final time by for Jonathan Preston. Will he grab the checkers and the pole? Parker Price Miller tries the bottom side. That won't work off of corner 2. Through 3 and off of 4. Miller digging deep, but it won't work. Jonathan Preston will start from the pole. Parker Price Miller second. Dane Knight a third. Then it's Chuck Hebing in fourth. Fifth is Max Stambaugh. Fifth, Davey Frannick. Sixth will be Mac Demand, and seventh, Devin Doby.
And here's something interesting for you. We had the opportunity to interview last night on our post-race show both Mark Smith and Sam Haferty, who by winning their Twin 15 features last night were guaranteed to start no worse than 9th and 10th here tonight. And both drivers said, we're not interested in 9th or 10th. We want to be near the front. We want to go out and win this race. But after noticing neither one of them made it to the dash tonight, I'm sure they're pretty thankful for the effort they put in last night to win the Twin 15s, as they will make up the 5th row in tonight's starting lineup. Clinton Jeffries in Lucas Oil Victory Lane.
Thanks, Adam. Jonathan Preston gets his helmet off. He'll work his way here out of the 22 machine and get ready to go. And he'll come down and talk to us. Quick brief intermission, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, we're guaranteed minimum $5,000 in tonight's 50-50. You can get tickets at the speed shop. You can get them from the girls in the pink shirts as they're walking around. So he drives the Williams Insurance Agency Canandaigua Seal Coating Seeger Marine Machine. Here he comes around front. How about a big Ohsweken Speedway? Lucas Oil Victory Lane welcome for Jonathan Preston. Great job here tonight. One heck of a way to get the second part of your Nationals night underway. What goes through your mind now? You know you're going to start on the pole. What changes do you make, John?
The car's real good. It's real good on the top. I know it's going to get tough when I get into traffic. I can't believe I can run with these guys. I'm just a little hometown low buck, and I'm running with the best of the best, so this is awesome.
How's the track? It looks pretty slick out there, but still a bit of bite on the top, or where are you guys going to make it happen here in the A?
No, the track's beautiful. I mean, it's one of the raciest tracks we go. I mean, New York's very slick, and this is what I like to run on.
Anybody you want to thank for your solid start to your evening, bud?
I got to thank my crew, my dad, Chris, Ethan. Without them, they got this thing dialed in.
There you have it. Jonathan Preston, ladies and gentlemen, will be your number one starter in tonight's A main event for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Let him know you appreciate his efforts here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Clinton, Jonathan says he likes racing on this racing surface. You should remind him that we host sprint car races every Friday night through the summer. It's a beautiful drive from that area of New York to come up here.
Come on down.
Time to do our lucky program prize draw. So if you have your program handy, get it out. Look on the front cover and you'll find the winning numbers located there. So first up, if you have any of these numbers, I should mention, go to the base of the flag stand to claim your prize. First up is a $50 gift certificate courtesy of Grand River Dinner Cruises to program number 222. 222. One Stingray hat courtesy of Queenston Chevrolet to 277. One hat courtesy of Caledonia Auto Supply to 333. Free pita courtesy of the Pita Pit in Caledonia to 275. Movie pass at Cineplex courtesy of Coca-Cola to 270. And a free large 3-item pizza courtesy of Wiggy's Pizza in Caledonia to 329. 329. If you have any of those program numbers, go down to the base of the flag stand to pick up your prize. I'll read those numbers one more time. Number 222, 277, 333, 275, 270. That's 270. And 329. If you have any of those numbers, please make your way down to the base of the flag stand to claim your program prize. Well, Adam Ross, it's the final Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car feature event of the year. No points on the line. The champion's been crowned, but bragging rights are on the line, and that's just as important for every one of these drivers.
Bragging rights is super important. So is winning in front of the biggest crowd of the year. And Greg, I was just down chatting with my friends from the NASCAR Pinty Series, who receives probably the most shout-outs of everybody all year long. And we always get a kick out of it because we'll be in a hotel somewhere across the country, and Clinton or you will say hello to us, and we all giggle and carry on with our evening watching some great racing.
In your Teddy Whiteys?
No, that is Gibbs. Although they mostly stay clothed while we watch the race. Like, I'll watch it anyhow. That's a different story altogether.
On with the lineup.
Here's how the feature's going to line up. On the pole from Union, the Wilson's Used Cars, number 6M is Eric McGlone. On the outside of row number 1, from Vanessa, Ontario, the Lucas Oil Oakwood Transportation, number 4 is Hannah Farrell. Starting third from Beachville, the DeGroot Hill, number 5 is DJ Christie, and outside of him from Beamsville, the Schneider Electric, number 1A of Paul Klager. Starting fifth out of Brantford, the Massage Pro, number 49L is Lucas Smith, and starting sixth from Six Nations, the 69 is Josh Hill. Starting seventh out of London, the Pinewood Horticultural Services, number 7 is Caleb Wood, and starting eighth out of Hamilton, the Burger Barn, 56 is Derek Lemaire. Starting ninth out of Beamsville, the J&E Recovery Superior Petro Fuels, number 88H is Josh Hansen, and starting 10th from Ohsweken, the Canada Fuels, number 9C is Brian Nanakoke. Starting 11th from Ohsweken, the Case IH, Rochester Nighthawks, number 68 is Aaron Turkey, and starting 12th out of Ancaster, the 51 is Trevor Young. Starting 13th from Gore's Landing, the Mayhew Graphics, number 19 of Brandon Merle, and starting 14th out of Ransomville, New York, the 7F is Matt Farnham. Starting 15th from Port Colborne, the Lakeshore High School, number 5D is Jacob Dykstra, and starting 16th from Font Hill, the Summit XSO, first choice number 08 is Stephen Beckett. Starting 17th from Ohsweken, Ontario, the 28 is Jordan Hill, and starting 18th out of Rockwood, Ontario, the Radio Shuttle 74 is Rob Neely. Starting 19th in the McDonald's, number 9 out of Brantford is Paul Ballantyne, and starting 20th out of Waterford, the Ohsweken Speedway 12 is Brad Heron. Starting 21st from Niagara Falls, the Pro Battery Shops, number 70 is Bailey Hurd, and starting 22nd out of Binbrook, the Mac Tools Brian Chaston Float Service, number 29 is Liam Martin. Starting 23rd from Carlisle, the load covering trailers, Gales Auto Aftermarket 18X is Davey Boughton, and rounding out the field from Windsor, the Jeff's Roofing, number 24 is Jeff Newham. Ladies and gentlemen, they are 4 wide to salute you, the fans. Get up on your feet and give these drivers a wave. Show them you appreciate what they're about to do. White flag from the big deal, Kyle McKenzie up in the flag stand next time out of turn number 4. We will set them loose. Greg, they've got all winter to fix them. Drive them hard.
Oh, and DJ Christie has problems, so it looks like we're going to see a caution flag as the 5-star machine comes to a stop in corner 2. See him waving frantically down there.
See, that's when you're thankful. Bright yellow, green. What color is that?
That would be, actually in printing, that is lemon neon yellow.
Lemon neon yellow. That's why I asked
Neon
you.
lemon.
You're a man who understands colors, and DJ Christie hopefully going to get pushed off and refired. But the rule is, once you have fired once, if you need to be pushed off again for a reason other than safety related, you've got to go to the back.
First time I've ever seen this, guys, was going too slow and it just stalled out on him. So tough break for the youngster. What's he, 16?
I enjoy watching DJ come from the back. Yeah, he's in his mid to late teens, always smiling. And we'll watch for that 5 machine to drive it hard from the back of the pack. Eric McGlone on the pole. Hannah Farrell still looking for her first win in this series. Could tonight be the night?
I'll get us in a better spot.
Double greens in hand for Kyle McKenzie, and we are on it. Eric McGlone, the Hurricane. Hannah Farrell rumbled down into corner 1.
Hannah Farrell with the advantage off of 2. McGlone with a nice drive off the bottom. And Clinton Jeffrey, we can hear you want to play in this too.
Davey Boughton up and over. Red flag will come out on the backstretch.
How did that? I want
idea.
to see how that happened.
Well, there's your helmet throw, or your wheel throw. He grabbed that with both hands and dunked it.
Well, Davey Boughton, I mean, well documented how hard he tried to get back on the racetrack, got up into the loose stuff and just clipped the wall in turn 2. That's going to be expensive. Tyler Turnbull just sent me a note saying it's pretty close to day glow yellow. Of course, Tyler Turnbull, his father Colin Turnbull, were longtime go-kart racers, TQ midget racers, and now Tyler Turnbull is working down south, I believe, with Roush Racing.
Davey Boughton, not the season you wanted, man. Former champion here in the mini stocks. You got a lot of help to get back out here. You selected the races you wanted to make. Tell us about your night right now, buddy.
First of all, I just want to let my girlfriend at home know, okay? Second,
We'll get you going.
I just want to thank Gail Hill for helping me even get back out here. If it wasn't for Gail, I wouldn't be standing here right now. Just everybody do whatever you can to get over to Gail's if you need anything. He is honestly the nicest man, and 3/4 of us probably wouldn't be out here without him. I just, like Clint said, I come from mini stocks, and I basically race this crate car on a mini stock budget, doing everything I can to try to run out here with the class of this field. If there's anybody out there listening that would honestly like to give me a chance and help me out with some sponsorship, that's all I need to try to get me rolling here with these guys. And I just want to thank the track and all these safety workers, and just thanks a lot.
We have from Davey Boughton, ladies and gentlemen. How about a hand for Davey Boughton, one of the hardest working crate guys out here. As you heard him say, running a crate sprint on a mini stock budget is not easy. We were able to hook him up with Gail Hill earlier this year, and he's done a good job to represent.
And Davey Boughton wears his heart on his sleeve, Greg. You know when he's happy, you know when he's angry, and he'll let you know it. And another replay here, Greg Boydell up in turn 2 had a great shot of him getting up over the cushion there, and thankfully all the safety gear worked. But Davey Boughton's the type of driver we need.
Oh,
right?
he is.
You know, he works so hard to get out there, and he'll let you know when he's short. You know, he'll let you know why. The reason I didn't come out for those 2 weeks, I didn't have the money to get to the track. And he works hard at it. People have reached out to give him some help, and he doesn't quit. He just keeps at it.
He's got that passion for the sport, and like you say, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and those are the type of people you want in motorsports, because that's what makes it entertaining.
That's the show. That's the show. And we learned earlier, if you enjoyed the pre-race show, and I even said it to Jordan Thomas, because when I watch him race on the racetrack, I think, man, that guy's got an attitude. Like, he races so hard, and he's the sweetest kid you'll ever meet. Like, to look at him sit there, and his family members are videoing the interview that we were broadcasting live anyhow on Facebook. It was just comical and cute. We need the personalities. We've got to get to those personalities so people know who they want to cheer for. If you don't have someone to cheer for, what the heck do you come to the races for, right?
No, absolutely, and the key to that is the personality and getting to know the drivers as well. And you know, I think that's been a big part with NASCAR, is so many favorites have gone over the last few years, and the older diehard crusty fans like us, our favorite driver retires, and you have a hard time connecting with those personalities and finding out who they are.
The reason I think you have a hard time relating to the young drivers, they allow drivers in much too young.
Yeah.
Make them come through the ranks. You knew where Bobby Labonte came from. You knew where Terry Labonte came from, because they built a name for themselves before they made it to the big leagues. So then you make it to the big leagues, you've got all those people following. Well, unless you've got a famous last name, nobody wants to know what you did in grade 5.
No, exactly.
And that's where these drivers are making their name, because by the time they're in grade 7, they're winning the biggest late model races in the country. But, you know, that's why, like this, we're building names. From the go-kart track off the back of turn number 3, where the kids race, where Terry Baker's kids race, and Clinton Jeffrey's kids race, where Hannah Farrell started, where Holly Porter started, where Dylan Westbrook started.
Bailey Hurd.
And then you come to the big track, and you've already got a bit of a following, because we already know what they're about. Yep. Lance Erskine.
Yep.
Lance, remember that name,
exactly.
folks.
Yep.
I know I've met him before, but I talked to him a little bit last night. What a cool kid. Craig Erskine's son. Craig, a longtime racer here. He races for Burger Barn. He races on the small track out back. And mark my words, 5 years from today, we're going to be talking about him on Sprint Car Nationals weekend.
And Burger Barn's done a nice job in marketing him as one of their drivers. I know in doing the hero cards and T-shirts for the team, he's a part of that. He's part of it with the big team as well, and they do a great job marketing their drivers and getting them out there. And you're right, he's already got that following already kind of built up.
And my favorite part was, while he's there shaking hands and meeting people, his father Craig walks by with a broom in his hand, sweeping off the concrete pad. Just Craig Erskine's a great guy too. The Erskine family spent a lot of years racing here in different divisions, but I like Lance's charm when I met him last night.
Well, cars are back under power, and we'll try this one again. 20 laps here in the A main for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. I want to give a shout out to Strickland's, another one of our title sponsors here at the Speedway. As Clint announced last night, 3-year commitment, I believe it is, for all of our division sponsors going forward. So that's locked and secured, and we know that things will be going forward with all 4 divisions for the next few years.
That's correct, Greg. At the beginning of this year, we signed HRW Automotive, Middleport Mechanical, Strickland's GMC, and Cool Kids Corpac for 3 more years, so we're solid through 2020, which is amazing.
And I think with the positive energy going on here, Clint, we are solid for a lot of years to come. And really, this year was a big one where Glenn Stiers, with the health problems, you know, he was racing a little bit and then had to step away from the race car. And I think everybody had to kind of take a deep breath and say, okay, how long is this going to be Glenn's playground for? But he made us rest easy last week or the week before when you interviewed him, Clint, and he said, I love this. This is what I do, and we're going to keep on doing this and having a great time. And he's never been more positive, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and I just want to say, Adam, we have more people calling us now to sponsor divisions. We actually have to turn them away because we're locked down. Want to let everybody know, Glenn is doing awesome. He's super happy, healthy, looking good. Just another bad concussion could spell some trouble for him, so he's taking some time off for racing. But yeah, Glenn's here. Welcome back, Glenn. Kurt, hopefully your wedding went well. Here we go with the crate feature.
Green flags in the air once again from Pampers, Kyle McKenzie.
Back underway out in front, the Hurricane, Hannah Farrell, but Eric McGlone fighting on the bottom for the lead down the backstretch.
They're 3-4 wide further back, and Brandon Merle wisely backed out of the throttle there. Jacob Dykstra was coming up. Hannah Farrell's going to lead lap number 1.
Oh, close call for Brian Manicoke and Josh Hansen as they touched just momentarily at the start-finish line. We stay green.
Josh Hansen just recently finally got that first victory that eluded him for so long.
Look who's back up there in the top 3 again. This guy, we talked about it earlier, has really turned up the wick here in the last month of the season. Paul Klager running 3rd.
Paul Klager, he's looking to get on that podium, preferably at the top step. And wow, Lucas Smith, he had to check up or he was going to land in about the 3rd row of the grandstands.
Good fight for that 3rd spot. Smith holding it down, and Paul Klager back there settles into 4th. Now the battle's for 5th as it's Josh Hansen and Caleb Wood side by side.
Deeper in the field, Paul Ballantyne going 3 wide with Bailey Hurd and Rob Neely. Neely brings it off of turn 4, carves it down the racetrack, so he'll take that position. What a season it's been for first-time winners, Greg, and Hannah Farrell out in front as we got problems in 3 and 4. What a save by Brandon. No, that's Matt Farnham.
Another one up into the corner 3 Bales. That was Liam Martin. He'll gather that back up, and we stay green after 2 incidents that I thought for sure would send us yellow.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. As we scan the racetrack, Jacob Dykstra having a great battle with Derek Lemaire in the Burger Barn 56, the Ohsweken Speedway 68 of Aaron Turkey.
The Hurricane out in front. Hannah Farrell, the Oakwood Transport, number 4, racing for Darren Barr Motorsports. That team, oh, big flip down on the front stretch in corner 1. Josh Hansen gets some major air time, and the red flag will come out again. Caleb Wood, look at the front end of the number 7 all sheared off as well. I caught the tail end of that one.
I saw it happening. They were battling, and neither driver would give an inch, and you saw them bounce off each other once or twice, and the cars got spit the wrong way, and it actually took a long time for that flip to start. But once they took off, man, they sure did lurch. Josh Hansen in a heap down there in turn number 1. The safety crew on the scene right away. They're tenacious, that safety crew. Slipping and sliding, but doing what they've got to do to get the car down. And Josh Hansen, man,
Janie, don't worry. He's out of the car under his own power, which is a great sign, ladies and gentlemen, after a crazy wreck. Josh Hansen recently turning 16 years old. Josh, don't want to take too much of your time. Let your mom know you're okay.
Yeah, I'm all good. I guess Caleb wanted that line more than I did, and kind of sucks to end the season this way, but we'll see everybody next year.
He grabbed a feature win a couple weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen. How about it for Josh Hansen? What a great young pilot he is too. Former Maryville Speedway go-kart champion. His car is a mess down here, but let him know you appreciate it. As we said, all these drivers, they do it as a hobby. So we need to make sure we get them all home safe.
Clint, I know you're busy. See if you can go get a word from Caleb Wood. So we got Josh Hansen's side of the story, and that's what it looked like to me, was 2 drivers really fighting for the same piece of real estate even after it was already clear that was not going to work out.
Well, we'll get over here and get a word with Caleb.
It's like having a whizzing contest in a snowstorm. Even when you win, you still got frostbite.
That was kind of smart. Yeah, sure. Caleb Wood over here in turn number 2. What happened out here, Caleb? Obviously, you got together with the 88.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. I just got a really good run off 4 like I was, and he just kind of came up and, you know, just happens. So I feel bad, and it sucks to have a race car like this, but thought we had a good car. Thought we had a winning car, but I just got to thank everybody and Glenn, and it'll be a good weekend no matter what.
There you have it, Caleb Wood, ladies and gentlemen. As you hear his remorse for getting into Josh Hansen a little bit there, and Caleb Wood with all kinds of damage, but he's still able to smile, and I know he'll be having a party with us tonight at the end. So you heard him say there, it's going to be a good weekend no matter what.
And that's, you know what, Clint, that's what you do so well. And we've always tried to do that here for the 20 years that we've been working here together.
Do you mean I party well?
Well, that too. But trying to get both sides of the story. We voice our own opinions all the time, but it's nice to hear it from the drivers. Get them right as they're getting out of the race car when their emotions are high. That's when you're going to get their truth, their version of the truth.
I go back to the night when Mac DeMann got in that horrible crash here in turn number 2. And he got out. He was pumped up, excited, upset, all at once. It was one heck of emotion there by Mac DeMann that night. And Josh Hansen, going to be a tough competitor here in the years to come for sure, as will Caleb Wood, both of them in their second year here.
I commend the safety crew for trying to push and steer that car back to the pits, but that's an uphill battle.
Well, quick story about Josh Hansen, Adam, if I understand it correctly. His parents bought him the car 2 years ago. He was not old enough. You have to be minimum of 14 to race here at Ohsweken. And what happened was he had a car, was only 13, had to wait till Nationals weekend to get his first shot here in the sprint cars, and now he's of age and can get it done.
And he came out of the gates flying. Remember how fast he was in his first season? We were sure he was going to get a win last year. It didn't happen. And then this year, it was a bit of a struggle. He finally got to victory lane, but I think it took him a little longer than we probably thought it was going to take. But it's also a testament to the other 20-some-odd cars sitting on the racetrack.
Well, let's also recall Josh Hansen flipped wildly at the beginning of this season. So this is the second time he's been over hard this year.
We're back to yellow flag. Push trucks making their way around the track, picking up cars. Greg, do me a favor. Maybe Clinton's the better one to answer this, but I know that he's on the fly. This looks to me like chaos. Is there a system they go by for pushing off vehicles and where the cars need to run and where the push vehicles need to run?
Pure chaos.
Okay, so it is as it appears.
You know, we have a veteran push-off crew. They've been with us a long time. They bring in extra support for tonight. But these guys know what they're doing, Adam. They do a fantastic job, as do our safety crew, who also get into the role of pushing quite a bit. What the system over in the pits, Adam, I can tell you quickly, is once you get your car push started, you roll around the outside, and it lets everybody push off on the bottom. Out here, you basically just get your line, hold it, we get you going, and then Doug will be yelling on the radio for you to find your position. But yeah, not a lot of choreography going on.
I thought there would be more. I thought there would be some magic that I didn't understand.
Look good, honestly.
Too much rules aren't good for anybody. Isn't that one of your lines, Adam?
Absolutely. I like analogies. It's like hot dogs. I like eating them, put on some mustard and ketchup. Don't tell me how they happen. See, we're almost in order once again. Didn't need to know how it worked. It's magic.
Well, also for the fans watching at home and here with us who don't know, our race director, Doug Leonard, has a radio that he can communicate to the drivers. They all have a receiver inside their helmet with a set of earphones that they're all wearing. And he will give out instructions like I'm assuming he just told the 24 of Newham to get around to the back end of the field, and you'll see the 24 pull off. I'm wondering what's going on with the Bailey Hurd 70. A lot of unburnt fuel out of that left bank in the headers, and I don't know if you can see it, but he is cooking that left rear as he putts around out here.
Yeah, that's a lot of flaming.
I got to wonder how much flame until the tire says I've had enough of this frying pan.
I was thinking that's pretty close to his left butt cheek, too. I mean, you're sitting right there.
Not to mention, if you just put your hand out the side, it's going to drop down. Now listen, we're listening to race director Doug Leonard right now. If he's continued to talk to these drivers. Now, white flag is out. We'll try and get him on here. I'm just hang tight. We'll see if we can get...
Yeah, we'll do that. And the reason it works is because it's a one-way communication. The drivers can't talk back because that would be crazy. But one-way communication, they all know what needs to happen.
Those are up and above or out of line, you can go to the rear of the field.
Just hang here. He'll talk to them as we get ready to go. Or maybe not going this time. He already said we're ready to roll. We'll try and eavesdrop on him a little bit later.
Look at how slow Hannah Farrell is rolling in that Oakwood Transport number 4. Looking for career win number 1, the young lady from Vanessa, Ontario.
Green flag on the field, single file past the cone and on it down into quarter number 1.
Eric McGlone again all over the back end of Hannah Farrell. He'll work the inside groove. Farrell's going to go up the racetrack to find her racing room. She gets a nice run off of turn number 4 and opens up a couple of car length lead over McGlone in the 6M.
Lucas Smith running back there in third, Paul Klager fourth, and the fight for fifth is the one that's most entertaining at this point. Brian Nanico and Jacob Dykstra duking it out.
Dykstra down on the inside. He failed to qualify in the 360 sprint car tonight, but he's looking for a solid top 5 in the crate sprint. Oh, Hannah Farrell got slowed down in turn 2, and look at them 3 wide into turn 3.
She'd love to have corner 2 back all over again as they race off the corner. Lucas Smith charges to the inside, the 49L. Around the outside, Eric McGlone trying to get by both of them.
Lucas Smith with a good run through 1 and 2, aggressively takes the lead. Let's see if Hannah Farrell's able to regroup and fight back.
11 laps on the board, 9 to go for Lucas Smith over Hannah Farrell, Eric McGlone, Paul Klager, Jacob Dykstra, Brian Nanico back in 6th, and there goes Derek Lemaire up high in 1 and 2. And it'll stop it. Oh, Paul Ballantyne, and then Jordan Hill plows in to Derek Lemaire and brings out the caution on lap 11.
A perfect illustration how at some point you have to bail out. Paul Ballantyne tried to go by on the inside, and I think he realized this is not going to work, so he took his chances going high. Jordan Hill didn't give up. That I can do it, and just ran out of real estate. Safety crew on the scene. Derek Lemaire's car almost looks like it could be pushed away. I'd be surprised. It was pretty significant impact.
He's got a flat left front. Adam here on the Lemaire 56. We'll see if they can get this one fixed. I'm assuming they're going to want their work area time here. He gives me a thumbs up. He's up right. We'll get over here and check out Jordan Hill in the 28 car. Jordan, welcome back here, buddy. What happened? You tried to avoid the Burger Barn car, but couldn't quite steer clear.
Yeah, I just got up in the marbles or the dust up here on top, and I just couldn't drive it away from them. There's our season. I'm just going to take it back to the trailer.
Not a bad year for you to come out late in the season. You've had some good runs, Jordan. We'll watch for you next year.
Thanks. Have a nice night.
There he is, Jordan Hill, ladies and gentlemen.
The most polite interviews I've ever heard.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a nice night. Is it just me, Greg?
No, you're right. I heard that and I thought, wow, you're awful happy for what just happened.
Again, back to the point, I think these guys really appreciate being a part of a big show.
Tell them to take a sweep. Good?
Clinton Jeffrey barking some instruction. He turned the mic on. I think he was going to talk to us and then realized he's going to... Well, that's him trying to push the hill number 28.
Well, the problem here, Adam, is these sprint car drivers and the push trucks are upset about it all the time. They take these hard turns, and it makes the push trucks jump the wheel. And Jordan will get shoved back. We'll stay out here and get ready to go. Jordan Hill is in that car from the Club 54 Racing. Jen and Coop, who got him that car, a former Holly Porter machine before she came to work for the Steyrs crew. Solid run for him, had some good runs out on the Action Sprint Tour. One of the guys who said he absolutely loved Brighton Speedway. He said, let's do this every time. I love it here, I'll drive it there. What a great time he had at Brighton.
Brighton Speedway is a great equalizer. It's a track where you really can't use big horsepower. You've got to get up on the wheel and really drive that place. Always entertaining racing. It is tight.
I welcome all our friends from Brighton here. I know there's a large contingent here tonight. Welcome all our friends at Brighton. I know Greg, Adam, myself. We spent a lot of time there the past 2 seasons as fill-in announcers. One of us has gone on rotation each week. And boy, I don't know about you guys, but I had an awesome drive down every week. So I didn't get burned once so far this year. Next time I go, it's going to be horrible, though, I'm sure, right?
I love Brighton Speedway. I dislike the drive, and I don't know if I'm welcome there anymore because it rains every time I go.
Well, we'll see if Greg and I get 13 requests each for next year and see how many you get.
Yeah, when we sit down and have that meeting where they dole out race nights, who's going to announce which?
One thing I want to mention, ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed our live stream, our plan is to continue on Friday nights, not racing here. We're going to replay the season each and every Friday night. So when you're at home on 7:30 on a Friday thinking, what am I going to do tonight? Well, we'll go back and watch the races all over again from the start of the year. That's the plan. We'll be live each and every Friday night.
What was that show they used to have on MTV where they'd show videos and then they'd do little pop-up bubbles of...
Pop-up video.
Pop-up...
Now, Adam, that is called syndication, and there are royalty fees to the talent on those syndicated broadcasts. Do we still get paid every Friday night?
I was just wondering, is this an angle for more money?
My wife Angie is going to wonder why Laura Hughes shows up on Friday nights with pulled pork sandwiches, and we're doing a replay. We got to do this, right?
And when you look at it from that side of things, you know, we got all these friends out here not sure what they're going to do on Fridays. I had an old guy grab me yesterday and said, I'm going to have to go spend time with my wife all winter. You guys better work this deal out and get a roof over this baby.
We're about to go green. Lucas Smith out in front in the 49L. Hannah Farrell going to restart second, and the green flag flies.
9 laps left to go. Smith, Farrell, and McGlone lead them into corner number 1, but don't count out Flagger, Dykstra, and Brian Nanico really having a solid run there in 6th.
Yeah, who wouldn't be happy to see Brian Nanico get up there and put it on the concrete on the front stretch with a top 3 finish? Just outside of the top 5 right now, but he's wheeling that thing hard.
Smith out in front. Farrell trying to hold McGlone back there. She's got the 2nd spot nailed down right now, but she's not letting Lucas Smith get away.
How about that 7 machine of Matt Farnham? He's had his share of struggles tonight, but there's no quitting this young man from Western New York. And
yellow for Trevor Young down here in corner 4.
One night, you know what? When we watch these broadcasts through the off season, I'm going to get a stopwatch, and I'm going to time how quickly, not that the safety crew arrives on the scene, but how quickly they're in the window of a race car.
Yep.
From the time you see the race car stop. Folks, for the rest of tonight, hopefully we don't need them very often, but have a look at that, how quick the safety crew gets to the scene. Poor Carly Hendricks, I've done this to her a couple of times now. When we were talking in the hospital, of course, Tyler broke his neck here last month. You know, burst into tears, and oh wow, Trevor Young, as we look at the replay, that he was fortunate to get that slowed down. But burst into tears tonight in the pre-race show as well, talking about Amanda Rockery on the safety team and the care that she gave Tyler Hendricks.
Yeah, Amanda was there right on the scene and held his neck still the entire time and was there until the ambulance arrived on scene. And that was quite a period of time as well. And she was right there in the forefront.
Well, guys, I'm down here with Trevor Young. Trevor, it's been a not too bad season for you. Still trying to get a handle on this sprint car. Welcome back to school, Mr. Teacher.
Bump just upset me. I think the car bounced about 3 times and someone got me once I settled out and knocked the front end out of it.
One of the nicest guys in the crate division, Trevor Young, guys.
I thought he just big leagued you. I thought you asked him a question and then it went dead silent. I thought, boy, that doesn't seem like Trevor Young.
No, and the other thing we want to mention here too about these microphones, right? They're made for a singer on stage 5 feet from the receiver. We're using them behind all this fence, which is basically a huge antenna. There's a tiny, tiny transmitter in the bottom end of my microphone, and I'm shocked we get it to go as far as we do.
I still enjoy it, Clinton. I enjoy listening to you.
I think you said it good the other day because my phone wasn't working. You said, you just got nothing electronic that'll work. And I said, no, that's my dad. He cursed about that. Can't seem to get anything to work, but if you get every 3rd word, we'll make it.
Yeah, Cousin Eddie and the steel plate in his head. Every time he runs the microwave, he forgets who he is for a few minutes.
Well, there was more to that statement, wasn't there?
There was more to that, but...
Keep your eye on the Bailey herd. It is still. So when he's idling around here, it looks like he's dumping a lot more fuel in that can be burned is what I think is going on out that left side bank. When he gets back on it, it seems to go away. Almost like when you see the modified or sportsman cars and they get stalled around and the fuel's in there and it looks like a big fire out the back. But no, under idle, the Bailey Herd 70 flaming up pretty good. But when he stands on it, it goes.
He's up to speed. He's not having a bad run. He started deep in the field. DJ Christie doing a nice job. He's up there in the top 10 after having to go to the back.
7 laps left to settle it. Lucas Smith will set the pace and bring a single file past the restart cone. The entire field gets on the loud pedal, and we are back at it.
Smith with a great run through 1 and 2 once again. Eric McGlowan up there in third. Brandon Merle just had a moment deep in the field, lost a couple of spots, but able to keep on trucking.
Smith and Farrell at the front. Farrell keeping the leader in her sights this time of this restart. She got a much better jump on this one and stays right there on the back Nerf bar of Lucas Smith.
Lucas Smith is trying to be a little bit fancy on the bottom of the racetrack. We got to remember he's a rookie sprint car racer and he's super aggressive, but out in front he's got nobody to show him the way.
He's got one feature win this year already. Don't forget, Hannah Farrell doesn't have one, and she is hungry. All over the back end of the 49L, she can smell that first checkered flag.
And as the laps wind down, I'm not sure if she wants to make the move quickly, but if she sizes it up and makes it come into the white flag, I think that might be her best shot, because you know that Lucas Smith will throw a slider immediately. And Hannah Farrell loses some ground in 2.
And
trouble
for Brad Heron, and we've got another one. Is that Jeff? Nope, not Jeff Newham. That's Josh Hill, maybe?
Yeah, that could be.
Josh Hill around in 4 along with Brad Heron.
I have to think Hannah Farrell would be a pretty popular winner.
Oh, definitely she would. Very nice young lady, and another one of those micro sprint racers that is here on the big track now. Clinton's down trackside.
Well, that's one thing I was just going to add about. You were talking about micro sprints and Adam and how we know them from their youngsters. Hannah Farrell, Holly Porter, Dylan Westbrook are some of the names out there racing in the expert division here each and every Thursday night. So they are honing their craft even in the smaller cars. And if you've not seen those smaller cars go, you think these cars look snaky, you got to see those 500cc micro sprint cars go around our little push-off track. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing about Hannah, just finished grade 12 last year. She was her high school female athlete of the year. So got a lot going for this youngster.
Well, and we've told the story before. She was here on a Friday night racing, and we've got pictures of her in her fire suit and her in her prom dress the same night, because once the races were over, she was out of here.
What I want to know is, where is her mom, Christine? Christine, where are you? Are you watching? Her mom doesn't even watch the races, sits in the grandstands and turns away the entire feature, is what I'm told.
My mom didn't like watching me race at all.
I have to see it. I would not be able to not watch the kids go at it.
But I think we're going to try, Connor's going to try to do some racing next summer as well on the small track. We race go-karts down at the Waterloo Club, but it just doesn't suit our schedule. So we're going to try some Thursday night racing next season.
Time to get dirty, boys. We'll be here.
I'm training McLean to be an announcer. It's a lot cheaper.
You weren't kidding. Lucas Smith once again going to lead the way. Hannah Farrell in second. They get on the throttle coming out of turn 4, and we're back underway as laps wind down. It'll be 3 laps to settle this one.
They are on it. Hannah Farrell right there, and that caution flag may have played into her favor because she did bobble a little in corner 1 that previous lap before the caution and gave up some real estate, but she is right there now.
And she needs that lap to get up to speed. She swings to the outside in 1 and 2. She is definitely better in 3 and 4 than she is in 1 and 2.
Here she comes on the outside line. White flag is out. Final trip around for Smith and Farrell.
Farrell gets a good run into turn number 1. Oh no! She'll loop it to a complete 360. Keep her foot on it. No, up into the wall. Her night is going to end.
Oh, Brandon Merle almost had a moment.
Oh my goodness.
Trying to make that middle lane work, and the car just spun the right rear, and she went around.
And turn 2 had been the tough spot for Hannah Farrell. She really had the speed in 3 and 4. Hats off to her for trying. She wanted that one. Clinton Jeffrey walking over to the 4 machine.
I just got to move my buggy here quickly. We'll get you right back to you. Hannah Farrell sitting in the car. We'll try and get a word with her. Move out of the way so the tow truck can do their business, and we'll get right back to you here. Adam, 1 second.
Wow, what a view from Greg Boydell's cam. Both cameras, I think, got a good shot of that, but Greg Boydell, man, you're on fire tonight.
Greg will be over there for our post-race show as well. So, Greg, as soon as we're done here, make your way back over there, get set up. Hannah, what a night for you. You almost led this one for a while. You went for the win. Just lost the handle a bit in 2, but you got to go for it. How tough is this one to swallow?
It's pretty tough. That was a really good race. We were both in a just lost it coming out of 2.
A little bit dejected, as you can imagine, guys, but she said it was a great race going for her. And dejected, as you can imagine, but her and the bar team have nothing to be disappointed about. As the cars are on the front stretch, back stretch, how about it for Hannah Farrell? Make some noise.
It's tough to ever fault a race car driver for going for it. That's what we're here to watch.
Well, Adam, like you say, you could hang in there, just run for second, or you can throw everything you got at it. That move was working for her on the outside.
And you have to try. Yeah. You have to do it. Now, let's talk about another first-time winner. Paul Klager gets up to that 2nd spot.
This guy's Mr. Mod Light over the years and started out here in the crate sprint car division this season. Had that vicious crash in corner number 3, and I'm sure Paul was kind of questioning things, and now in the last part of this year, he has been right there at the front every night, and now he's in contention for his first crate sprint car victory, and I'm sure he's feeling that he's arrived in sprint car racing now, that you can tell there's the confidence now.
And I've known Paul for a long time. He's a great racer. I promise you right now, he is planning this final lap. Lucas Smith is going to go to the inside in 1 and 2. He's going to drive it down into the corner. He's going to pin it to the inside. He's been doing well at that. So if you're Paul Klager, do you try to do what Hannah Farrell did, or do you wait until 3 and 4 when things open up a little bit more? Greg, what's your move?
It's a little slippery in corner 2. That's all I'll say right now. So I almost say you've got to just keep pace with him in 1 and 2. And take your shot in 3.
I agree with you entirely. Shadow him through 1 and 2. Either try to get a run off the bottom, stay in the tacky stuff, and make the move in 3 and 4. We're about to find out. Lucas Smith going to bring him back to the green flag. 1 lap to go.
Green and white in the air from Kyle McKenzie. Last trip around of the season for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. And Matt Farnham now decides he's going to enter the mix as well.
Wow, Lucas Smith with a great restart on the bottom. He has got this one in the bag. Checkers in the air. Farnham gets through for 2nd. Klager finishes 3rd. Lucas Smith, that was not a rookie restart.
No, it was not. Great restart for the driver. The 49L picks up his 2nd win of the year under the fireworks, courtesy of Lone Wolf Fireworks, the official provider of Ohsweken Speedway. Check them out, Highway 54 in Middleport. You can find them online on Facebook. Lone Wolf Fireworks lighting up the sky for Lucas Smith, headed back to Lucas Oil Victory Lane, along with Paul Klager and Matt Farnham. Farnham grabs 2nd at the line over Klager.
Left, 7. Left. Cement pad, there you go.
Where's Klager going? Okay, he's...
That was a good race. I was hoping the 4 car. Yeah. Never won a
Well, Lucas Smith brings the Massage Pro 49L National Building Group machine here into Lucas Oil victory lane for the second time in 2018. Quickly out of the car, and that's the way we like to see it. A bit of emotion here from Lucas Smith as he quickly gets out and is ready to come over here and celebrate with us in Lucas Oil victory lane. Quick mention, ladies and gentlemen, half price food at the front grandstand concession. Everything they got cooked is half price at the front grandstand concession right now. Here he goes up to the top ring, ladies and gentlemen. Lucas Smith wins the final GMC Strickland crate feature of the season. We'll get in here and get a word with them. Lucas, great drive. Second win of the year as a rookie. That's something to be really proud of. You were in the points battle in the early part of the year. Talk about your season for us.
Yeah, we started out great, and then things were just going so smoothly, and then we started to find out, just how many things you can break in a sprint car. Then we got our feet back under us at the end of the year, and it feels so awesome to be here again, especially at the Sprint Car Nationals. I know it's not the 360 win, but man, does it feel like it.
Let's talk about Hannah Farrell's battle with you in that middle portion. Did you see her go around on the outside?
Yeah, I could hear her coming up around the outside there, flirting, but I wasn't going to change what I was doing. I knew it was working. And it's just, she wanted it. She was going to have to fight me for it.
Good job, Lucas. He grabs his second win of the season.
And I got to thank all my sponsors, Massage Pro, Gales Auto Aftermarket, National Building Group, Cedar Springs Water Haulage, Retail Design Group, my parents, my family. We got to thank all the fans. Thank you guys all for coming out. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show.
We got it, Lucas Smith. We'll get it done. And Lucas is going to pull out our winner. What we at, Bev? $6,020. Get out your 50-50 tickets. You can read that, Lucas.
It's got my name on it. 36306.
Read that out, Bev. Make sure it's good.
I can't see it.
I'll read it for you. 36306. 36306. You're $6,000 richer. Come on over here, Matt Farnham. Matt, pretty good start to your sprint car career. Won the Action Sprint Tour race at Humberstone. Finished second here. That's a first and a second in 2 races. Pretty darn solid.
Yeah, I got to thank the entire Haddock Racing team for giving me the chance to do this. My buddy Scott, who's going to be racing here in a second, he's been pretty much being a mentor in this operation for us. Overall, I can't say enough about everybody that's been working on this car past couple weeks since we first decided we were going to try it at the end of the year. Composite Fiber Works, Merzak Trucking, all my guys that just help on whether it's my modified or on this car, and it's a good way to end the season.
We're going to see you next week or next year weekly?
Not weekly, but every now and again, hopefully, if I get a chance to, I'll be in this thing.
There it is, Matt Farnham. We'll grab second. We'll get over here and grab a word with Paul Kleger. Paul, you've been in these battles a lot this season. Let's talk about your run tonight. Pretty good way to finish off your year. A couple of thirds. I know you wanted more, but not too bad for a rookie year.
Yeah, you know what? The car's really coming to its own, and the crew's doing a fantastic job. And we're starting to figure this sprint car deal out, right? But I can't thank my girlfriend Ingrid enough for letting me come out and play all the time. She's a big supporter. All my sponsors, Schneider Electric stepped on board this year after I lost to one of my sponsors, so that's great. Lucas Oil, RCM, 5 Senses of Fun, Canadian Tire, Desjardins, Philbrook Farm and Garden. All them guys have been great. And thanks to the fans, thanks to Nitro 54 for putting up the extra money. That's really nice for us crate guys to think about us. And everyone here at Ohsweken, they treat us so good. So thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Paul. How about a hand for our top 3 in our GMC Strickland Crate final feature of 2018? Lucas Smith, Matt Farnham, and Paul Kleger get it done here on the front pad, and we'll pick up the big check here from Dan Anico, $1,000, $750, and $500 with the top 3 purse monies for these guys tonight. But the big one's coming, guys. $10,000 US, and if you're in this field, you're already $1,000 US richer. We'll turn it up to you guys as we begin pre-staging here for the 14th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals presented by Aero Express and supercharged by Nitro 54 Variety.
So now we will bring you the starting lineup for the 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, supercharged by Nitro 54 Variety. Starting in 30th out of St. Catharines, Ontario, in the Overland RNC car number 80, it's the real deal, Chris Steele. Starting 29th out of Shenango Forks, New York, driving the Scorpion Security Products number 14, it's Coleman Gulick. Going from 28th out of Sparrow Bush, New York, in the Profab number 56 is Billy Van Inwigen. Starting 27th out of Germantown, Ohio, in the Germantown Veterinary Clinic number 28H, it's James Hud Horton. Going from 26th out of Brantford, Ontario, the Strode's Barbecue number 10, Downtown, Mitch Brown. Starting in 25th out of Caister Center, in the Town Line Variety number 97, it's Corey Turner. Starting 24th out of Oswego, New York, in the East Coast Seal Coat number 54 Junior, it's Steve Hutchinson Jr. Going from 23rd out of Cloverdale, Ohio, in the M&W Construction number 17, it's Jared Horseman. Starting 22nd out of Brewerton, New York, in the Pit Stop Convenience Stores number 87, it's Racing Jason Barney. Going from 21st position out of Wayland, New York, the Empire Tractor number 47, it's Kyle Drum. Starting in 20th out of Harding, Pennsylvania, the Mechanical Service Company number 79, it's Jordan Thomas. In 19th out of Six Nations, the Town Line Variety 77X, the Six Nations sensation, it's Alex Hill. Starting 18th out of Antwerp, New York, in the Route 37 Building Supplies number 10C, it's Jeff Cook. Going from 17th out of Portland, Michigan, the Sweet Manufacturing number 85, Double D, Dustin Daggett. Going from 16th out of Bradford, Pennsylvania, in the Bundle of Warmth number 35, The Juice, Jared Zimbardi. Starting 15th out of Scotland, Ontario, the Bradshaw Brothers number 47X, it's D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. Starting 14th out of Welland, Ontario, the Gibbons Contracting number 14H, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Starting 13th out of St. Matthew de Beloit, Quebec, in the Four Seasons Foundation number 28, it's Jordan Poirier. This man's a three-time winner out of St. Matthew de Beloit, Quebec, the Four Seasons Foundation's number 28 FM, the Fireball, Steve Poirier. Starting 11th out of Calsville, New York, the Fiberworks Composite number 49, the Straight Shooter, Scott Kruder. Starting in 10th out of Rockwall, Texas, in the Original Traders Energy number 15H, it's Sam Haferteep Jr. Starting in 9th out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania, the Foundation's 55, number 55, it's Mark Smith. Going from 8th out of Wapakoneta, Ohio, the Ferris Commercial Mowers number 23, this is Devin Doby. Going from 7th out of Mississauga, Ontario, the Ackland Insurance number 17X, he's the highlight man, Mac DeMann. Going from 6th out of Wattage, New Jersey, the Dave Franek Auto Sales number 28F, it's Davey Franek. Going from 5th out of Lima, Ohio, the Jared Horseman Racing 17H, this is Max Stanbaugh. Going from 4th out of Ontario, New York, the Wilkins RV number 45, he is the Cobra, Chuck Hebing. Starting 3rd out of Adrian, Michigan, the Kingpin Farms number 56, and it's Dynamite, Dane Nida. And here is your front row for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Starting 2nd out of Kokomo, Indiana, in the Chalksticks number 67X, it's the law firm, Parker Price Miller. And starting on the pole out of Romulus, New York, in the Williams Insurance number 22P, it's Jonathan Preston. These are the 30 drivers that make up the 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, supercharged by Nitro 54 Variety. Drivers will get in their cars, get buckled up and ready to go racing for $10,000 of U.S. cash. They've already guaranteed $1,000 just to start this A main. That's a prize in itself. But all the eyes are on the big paycheck. And the winner will be crowned in 35 laps. Thank you, everyone, here tonight. Great crowd on hand for this event, both here in person and online. Great crowd over the backstretch stands as well. and a fabulous field of race cars ready to go with this 14th annual edition of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals.
Oh, Link Harrison. Every time you guys say Nitro 54, I take a drink. Nitro 54, Nitro 54, Nitro 54. Bottoms up, Link.
Could have done that with Burger Bar last night.
I had my mouth full. It's been so much fun this season. Always a good time. Tommy, we need you out more often.
Yeah, maybe I might be able to. Well, is my wife watching right now? No, she's not listening. I might be able to a few more times next year. We'll see.
The field taking shape down the back straightaway.
Okay, here we go, drivers. We're going to build this up. We're going to go 5 wide. We get to turn number 1 and need the odd rows to split. 97, I need you to drag your feet. You're going to start with the inside row. Odd row split, even still. 54 back. No, you're all right, 54. Okay, it's 97 and 10 are going to slide to the inside. Okay, 97, shoot her down the inside. For me, 10, you can follow. I need those last 6 cars. Go right down. Even it up.
Well,
drop her down, 56, drop her down. Inside row, 80, drop her down.
And there's your mass chaos, Adam. Great job, Doug. Great. Here we go. Great job, drivers. Great job. We are on it. 5 wide. Greg, it's all yours.
I think it was 6 wide.
Well, in the first ever 6 wide salute. I think next year we should just do 2 rows of 15.
That was amazing. Great job, everybody. We're just about ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh well. He wanted to be in the picture, I guess.
The calm before the storm. That is a wide, smooth racetrack. Before we get rolling, hats off to the Speedway track prep crew. This place was a disaster in the spring. It was the worst racing surface in the history of Ohsweken Speedway. Dan Westbrook and the crew, you guys were amazing this year. To build up to this point right here, this is a beautiful racetrack.
White flag is out. Next time by, we're going green flag racing in the 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, supercharged by Nitro 54 variety. 15 rows of beautifully prepared sprint cars ready to come to life. Jonathan Preston, Parker Price Miller on the front row. The Strickland GMC pace truck pulls off down the backstretch. Kyle McKenzie with double green flags in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, you came looking for a show. Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our feature presentation. Parker Price Miller takes the early lead, but here comes Jonathan Preston. He'll make it 3 wide with the Cobra.
Wow, that was close down there. Adam, go ahead.
Bold move by Jonathan Preston, shooting it up the middle. Chuck Hebing a lead, lap number 1.
Preston back to the point, but here comes the Cobra. He'll strike back, grabs a lead back, and we got trouble for Coleman Gulick, but he'll get the car righted. Yellow flag is out.
Air on the side of caution.
It looked like Gulick was like stopped dead there, and then he just gassed it up again. That was pretty cool.
He push started himself down the hill there in 3 and 4.
Unfortunately, the yellow was already out, but
now we talk about this week in and week out, but let's look at wing angles as they go down the backstretch. Man, there's some huge angle there on the 3rd place car. So Chuck Hebing is fairly flat. But Parker Price Miller, man, he's got some wing pitched into that.
Good exchanges there, the drop of the green flag amongst the top three as they went back and forth. With Chuck Hebing out in front. Started in the 4th spot. He's right up where he wants to be. Just seems every year there was some sort of issue for the Cobra and just kept him from starting near the front and being a serious contender to win, but he means business this year.
We're going to come to green flag this time of a turn number 4. Man, oh man, single file. Look at that. The race leader is in turn 3. Last place is in turn 1. We're going to be into lap traffic by lap 3.
Back to the green flag. Chuck Hebing will bring us down the front stretch and into corner number 1. Here comes Parker Price Miller and Jonathan Preston back at it side by side for second.
Whoa, one way off the track and tumbling off the end of the back straightaway. That was Jonathan Preston.
22? Yeah. Jonathan Preston up and over, still upside down on the hay bales up there in corner number 4 is where the car rested. He hopped up over the berm in corner 3 and took a vicious ride up into the catch fence. Safety crew on the scene. And a rough start to this 14th edition of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals.
Man, Jonathan Preston, a bit of a surprise to see him on the pole for this one. Safety crew on the scene. And it's always a good sign. It's always a good sign when they start moving the race car, trying to position it to allow the driver to climb out, because they won't do that until the driver gives them some indication that he's alert, awake, able to be repositioned. If you're watching the live stream, we are about to close it off and start a new feed because we're at the 4-hour limit. So if you lose your feed, just go back to Ohsweken Speedway Facebook page. That's how you will find the new stream.
There should also be a link in the comments of this stream as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, I believe that stream continues on. It does not have a limit on it, so it will continue on.
Well, guys, Jonathan Preston getting out of the car under his own power here, which is a fantastic sign, fans. Try and get a word with them. You know, Adam, you said it's humbling. Just goes to show you can win the pole dash and you don't even get 1.5 laps complete here before your night's over.
And that was a one-car crash, Clint. That was a one-man show there going down into turn 3. Good to see Jonathan Preston there getting the safety equipment off, having a look over the scene. That was a wild ride. We're just having a look at the replay now. He goes into 3 up on the high side. I haven't seen many cars really start to bounce up there in the high groove like he did, but Clint, just as he was pitching the car into the corner, it just took a couple of chatters into the turn. He got up off the banking and that car went sailing.
I got him here, Jonathan. We were just talking about how humbling this sport can be. You were right on top of the world an hour ago, and here you are upside down in turn 4 at Ohsweken. Are you okay? That's the main thing. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just the car's not so good. Just cut a rut, and it's racing. I'm not too happy, but what are you going to do?
At least he's all right. Thanks for coming, Jonathan. How about it, fans? He can hear you now. One more round of applause for Jonathan Preston.
Well, Adam, the intensity of this race is so high, and you can see it especially at the front of the pack. And to keep pace, you've got to be on that razor's edge, and that's where Jonathan Preston was, right up there. And sometimes that can bite you, and it bit him hard tonight.
You have to be willing to take that chance. You are not going to win this race if you don't take the chance of running hard, running the line you need to run to find the speed. We had Mac DeMann say it repeatedly. He likes being exciting. He likes being that driver that people watch because he knows he's got to do that and he's got to get better at it.
We are now live on the alternate feed, and I'll get things set up here on the website.
So the car being hauled back into the pit area. Push trucks are in place, just waiting for the word from race director Doug Leonard to push them off once again.
Did you say your wife's watching, Tommy?
Yeah, I just saw her name pop up as joined. So she's
Busted.
listening.
You wouldn't believe the stuff Tommy's been saying.
I don't know. I thought ball and chain was a little mean, Tommy.
Hey now, don't put words in my mouth.
So we had two pairs of brothers try to qualify for the race tonight, the Turners and the Browns. In both cases, only one of the brothers made it in. We had two father-son combinations, if I'm not mistaken, the Turners and the Poiriers.
The Poiriers are uncle and nephew.
Yeah.
Well, that foils everything. Both Poiriers making it into the show. Jamie Turner not making it in. It's a family affair, this racing sport. So Coleman Gulick in the 14, he is being pushed away. But I believe they've got to be taking that car to the pit area. So Coleman Gulick will head to the work area where he'll be given 2 minutes.
The crew has requested he be sent in, Adam, so we're pushing him in. So they've obviously seen something they don't like on the car. The crew has gone to our pit officials and said we'd like to see the 14 in. This will count as his one allotted 2-minute work area time. We're going to get him in right now.
Clinton Jeffrey, a multitasker extraordinaire, and this will work out well because by the time they get to the work area and the yellow flag comes out, it'll take about 2 minutes to get all the cars fired up and in line where they need to be. Now, stupid question. If we turn the AC back on in this tower, Greg, is everything going to crash down with the humidity? Because
I can turn it back on. I just thought it wasn't.
Did you turn
blowing
that
out-
off?
Yeah, because it was blowing out like semi-warm air for a minute there. So I thought
you
I'd
got
let
fat guys on either side of you, Tommy.
I thought I'd let her cool off for a minute and see if it.
I got bits and pieces of myself sticking to other bits and pieces of myself that really shouldn't be.
Wow.
It's a good thing they're pushing cars.
These brakes never go well. They never end well for me.
I think that thing had actually iced up a bit, and now it's cooled off for a minute. So if you see if it blows out colder air now. You can sit right on it if you want.
Oh dear.
But yes, we do sort of have air conditioning up here. Sometimes.
Sean Chenoweth, I feel your pain, my friend. I love comments. I love the comments that come in. Because I think we try to treat them just like conversations that are going on. Wouldn't you say, Greg?
We do, and there's some people upset too.
Oh, at what?
Oh. They have to work tomorrow.
Oh. I thought you just meant Tommy's wife.
No.
What a great job by Dave Stiers to get that flip, man. Our camera crew, and I saw a comment earlier about the quality of the broadcast, the quality of the camera work. There's nobody better. We've got a great team. They capture the action. Spencer producing things down below in the dungeon. Is someone going to let him out for the off season?
I've seen him once this whole year. I still haven't met Robert. So still 34 laps left to go to settle this one.
Shout out to Dan Murphy. Please send a shout out to my hubby Dan. That's what the note we just got from Roxanne Murphy. We're gonna get messages, I'm sure, from wives and girlfriends. Please send my husband back. I haven't seen him since the long weekend in May.
They showed some pictures of Jonathan Preston's car on the live stream, and that frame is definitely junk. The down tube had a big bend in it. Landed very hard on the nose.
Yeah, all the safety equipment, of course, doing what it's meant to do, and that's what we like to see, you know. We don't want to see crashes. When we do, the best part is seeing the driver climb out. And most often that is what happens, but it's been a tough summer.
All right, white flag is being displayed, so we're going to get back at it. Next time around with Cobra, Chuck Hebing leading over Parker Price, Miller, Davey Franek, Max Stambaugh, and Dynamite Dane Knight has really had quietly an awesome night for that Burger Barn Racing team.
We say that every year about Dane, don't we? He's had a quiet night and he's up in the top 5 as usual.
Come on, guys, get up and around the 54. Up and around the 54.
Greg, your dad pointing out that Hebing has a Ford engine in. I know your dad is a big Ford fan.
As am I. Can the blue oval get it done? We'll find out. He's looking very strong as he's ever.
And you can see he's up on the wheel. He was up to the task. That was some tight racing there in the first lap. Like slide, they're not even slide jobs. They're just going through the corners that close, and nobody is giving an inch. That's what we're here to see. Green flag. Chuck Hebing getting back on the loud pedal to start things once again, really down the front stretch.
So here we go again. Parker Price Miller on the top, Hebing on the bottom, and Franek keeping pace with them as well. Here comes Horseman up to 4th.
Sam Haverdeep looking to break into the top 5 in that blue and white, number 15.
And off the banking, up in corner number 3, another car went off. That time was Dustin Daggett. He'll lose a ton of real estate, as right now it's the Cobra, Chuck Hebing leading over Parker Price Miller and Davey Franek.
Problems up there. That's Coleman Gulick up in turn 2, and I believe he's going to take it pit side. That'll end his night.
So Gulick to the pits. We mentioned Dustin Daggett a minute ago. He's the only driver to make all 14 Canadian Sprint Car Nationals features, but he's going to be one of the first cars in Chuck Hebing's sights here, as Hebing can already see the back of the field.
Look at Dylan Westbrook going into turn 1. He's about half a lap behind the leaders. He's running up on the outside. Looks to be keeping a fairly good pace, but out in front, Chuck Hebing having his way right now. Parker Price Miller hot on his heels. As I say, that Hebing bobbles into.
Down in corner number 3, new leader, Parker Price Miller. They've got the lap car of Jared Horseman right in between them as the Cobra, Chuck Hebing, tries to sling down low. That nearly got close with Bud Hort and Jared Horseman, but somehow the Cobra keeps pace with Parker Price Miller.
I don't know how he did that. We've got one off. Is that Davey Franek that just blew off the top of 3?
Yes, it was, and he gets it gathered back up. Allows Sam Haverdeep back by him.
Wow. Price Miller just hit a big run down there in corner 3. Kept it on all 4s though, as he tries to put a lap on Dustin Daggett. And this is where Parker Price Miller is going to have to fight with a pretty good car here. And look at Hebing right back on his tail end again.
And Dustin Daggett's not going to lay over. Hebing looks to the inside to try to grab the lead.
Here he comes down the front stretch, charges into corner 1, diving down in deep, slides up in front of Miller. That won't work. Parker Price Miller continues to lead into corner 3.
And he knew that slider was going to work. You can kind of see the attitude of the car. He did not complete it. Alex Hill goes a lap down. Whoa, we got one way off in turn 3 and 4 up by the hay bales. I believe that's Mac. That's Mac Demand.
Back up front, it's still Parker Price Miller putting a lap on Corey Turner now, or trying to. Hebing still keeping him in sight. And behind them, it's a long way back to Max Stambaugh in the 3rd position.
And Max Stambaugh right now is in the thick of some lap traffic, and kind of got a bit of a bumper back to him and Sam Haferteep, who has worked his way now inside the top 5.
Haferteep up inside the top 5, but a long way behind in terms of real estate as Parker Price Miller coming out of 4 and Haferteep just coming out of 2. The leaders have stretched away from the rest of the field.
So Hebing still keeping the law firm in sight right now, not gaining too much, but not losing much either. Still a long way to go in this one. 13 laps in of a 35-lap race.
And the traffic is getting heavy as we are under yellow.
Debris, reports of debris in, I missed which corner it was.
And I think that yellow was actually a break for Parker Price Miller because he was getting into some crazy traffic.
Well, that's just the thing, Adam. The farther along Parker Price Miller gets up into the lap traffic, the stronger the cars are. And I know that makes sense, but this is a stout field, so it gets tougher and tougher to get those cars a lap down, and makes it difficult for the leader.
Well, guys, up here in turn number 2 on the right on the entrance of the back straightaway, you can see Matt, our push truck guy, pulling it over. It is a front nose crash bar off one of these cars, and there it's off the Poirier 28 as he drove by me. The Poirier car with no front bumper down in front. Now it's just a single bar bumper out front, but Poirier missing it on the 28s. So obvious contact.
And that's a significant piece of debris. I mean, that would do some damage if people got into that. So,
well, I just want to talk to you, Adam, how it works. The officials come on, they say debris, they ask where it is, they take a look, is it in the groove, is it good, can we keep going? They determine no, they could not. And as you mentioned, a solid debris caution there. No funny business.
Here's one for you, Adam. Terry Whitehall watching at home says, I just went outside to rub some dirt in my hair. Getting into it, watching it live at home.
Fantastic. You know, the track was dry from time trials. And the dust really hasn't been like there's been dust in the air, but visibility's been fine. This is a wide, racy racetrack. Watching the line Parker Price Miller is running, Chuck Hebing's been working the bottom of the racetrack trying to perfect that line. Is Parker Price Miller's high groove going to disappear by the end of this race?
Well, you have to wonder if that is going to be the case, and usually that bottom line stays pretty consistent in this long 35-lap race. So, yeah, good point on that, with Parker Price Miller committed to that outside line.
Dylan Westbrook, he's made some gains. He's up there in the 7th spot in the Ohsweken Speedway, number 47.
Started 15th, so this caution, one of those types of cautions that helps a driver like him as well, that's moving forward through the field.
Well, you got to believe when this green flag flies, he's going to sail that thing down into turn 1 on the outside. I mean, he's been pitching the car really hard into the corner sideways and then driving it off. It's been impressive to watch.
You guys notice who's in 4th? Sam Haferteep from row 5, already up in the top 5.
Right there behind Max Stambaugh and ahead of Davey Franek. And he got by Franek after Franek got high in corner number 4 and over the berm. Lost that real estate to Haferteep Jr. Ready to get back at it. Just 13 laps on the board. 22 to go in the 14th annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car National, supercharged by Nitro 54 Variety.
Chuck Hebing straight to the bottom of the racetrack trying to make a move. He'll lose some ground down the back straightaway. Parker Price Miller back to the outside and both ends of the racetrack.
Hebing previously ran the fastest lap of this race so far, the only driver under 14 seconds, but he's losing ground now to Parker Price Miller.
Here comes Dylan Westbrook. He's making a charge to get himself into the top 5 as he works by Davey Frantic and now sets his sights on Sam Haferteep Jr.
That 47 car just about twisted itself into a pretzel. Did you see him straighten it up out of turn 4 and the thing just pitched itself? Dylan Westbrook is on the charge.
He's making big gains on Haferteep now as both of them race within the top 5, 4th and 5th right now, as Hebing has started to eat back into that lead that Parker Price Miller built up.
Miller leads across the line, completing lap number 17. The Cobra, Chuck Hebing in second. Then it's Max Stambaugh, Sam Haferteep, and Dylan Westbrook, your top 5.
The track, you can see, is starting to change. The speed of these race cars going into the turns, things are starting to change up. Who's going to have the best long-term car? Long-run car, rather.
Hebing has tried a lot of different lines out of corner 4, and that one out of corner 2 didn't work quite as well. He was really gaining on Parker Price Miller, and again gains off corner 4 as Parker Price Miller back into traffic again.
But I like that Chuck Hebing is moving around the racetrack. He's tried his car in a number of different spots on the track, so he's building that database in his mind of where the car is going to work for him.
And he is not losing a lot of ground, although as I say that, he's got a couple of lap cars between he and Parker Price Miller. He'll slide up in front of Jared Horseman and work down the backstretch with Miller already in corner 3.
Great battle for the 4th spot, 3rd spot rather, just ahead of Dylan Westbrook. Or is that a lap car that Haferteep just got?
That is Max Stambaugh right there. The lap car is Jared Horseman up just behind Chuck Hebing.
Hebing got off of the end of corner 4 just a little bit, or sorry, corner 3 a couple laps ago and got back on the track without losing too much ground, but Parker Price Miller is ahead by almost 2 seconds at the moment.
22 laps in, so next time by it'll be 12 laps to go. That's still a lot of racing here at the Big O, and traffic is going to be an issue for the rest of this race.
Parker Price Miller out in front, and the Cobra Chuck Hebing and Sam Haferteep and Dylan Westbrook running similar lines, similar lap times. They are 3rd and 4th. Mark Smith now has worked his way into the top 5.
Mark Smith, who started ahead of Dylan Westbrook. Oh, Westbrook's got a problem up in turn 4.
Right rear flat on the 47X. The caution will fly. Oh, heads up there in corner 4.
Heartbreak for Dylan Westbrook, who had come through the field past some very good race cars.
Right rear down on the 47X. I do believe, yep, there you can see it on the live stream feed. Right there. Running in the 4th spot behind Sam Haferteep Jr.
So they're trying to determine whether Westbrook's going to get a push back to the pits or whether they're going to lift that up from the back end. Clinton Jeffrey is making his way over there in turn 4.
Well, getting reports of something broken on the rear end, needing a hook here, so we'll find out if it's something they feel they can fix in 2 minutes. We'll try and get a look at it.
Report from Dale Calnan, our photographer, is that Westbrook hit the wall out of corner 2, so that's likely what did the damage on the 47X.
Well, they're going to need a new right rear, a new shock, as they busted the shock here off the right rear. The Heim's gone off of it, so the crew, it looks like Steve Moulton and the crew should be able to get this done within the 2-minute time period.
See if you can get a word with Dylan, Clint. They're going to haul him away pretty quickly once that car's in the air.
D-Dub, what happened here?
I can't hear. They're talking.
Doug's talking on the radio right now. What happened there, Dylan?
Just after that red, it's almost like the tire just started going down a little bit there, but had a real good run going, but nothing else you can do about it.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. 9 wins on the season. Our 2018 hometown champ, Dylan Westbrook, suffers some damage here, flat right rear, and that's caused them to tear up the shock on the car as well, guys. But looks like he's got, did he hit the wall after he had the flat? Because the rim is bent up really bad.
Well, there's some speculation. Dale Callan saying he hit the wall in turn 2, and he really didn't have serious issues till he got down into 3 and 4. And by the tone Dylan Westbrook said, it doesn't seem like he expects to get back out on the racetrack. Did you gather that, Greg?
It's kind of how it sounded for Dylan Westbrook, but that's Dylan. Dylan's just kind of always Dylan, if that makes any sense. He's kind of one tone, low key, super easy going, and he said, "Hey, I had a great race going, but what are you going to do?"
And you know what? When you've won 9 races at this racetrack this year, the track doesn't owe you much.
No.
I think, guys, he felt it was really bad. He didn't know it was just a right rear tire and a shock, to be honest, so I don't think he probably thought it was a lot more terminal than it really is. I don't think he realized they were just going to bolt the shock on in a new right rear. He should be able to go.
I'll tell you one thing, it'll be fun to watch him on this restart if he gets back out onto the racetrack. We'll have a look at timing and scoring here to see how many cars are on the lead lap. Oh, my timing and scoring quit. So Greg's going to look at his timing and scoring.
So we are top 21, 19, okay. It's not what mine's showing, but I don't believe that's correct.
We know that Parker Price Miller is in the lead. Chuck Heaving runs second. Sam Haferty rounds out the top 3. In fourth, it's Mark Smith. Max Stambach rounds out the top 5. Then it's Jordan Thomas, Steve Poirier, Davey Franek, Scott Kruger, who came out of B-Main, Dane Nida, and Mac DeMann.
So Devin Doby in the 23. He is the final car on the lead lap, 21.
Holy moly, they're all on the lead lap? That's something else.
White flag out. We'll try it again. 24 on the board. 11 laps left to settle the 14th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals.
Well, guys, Dylan Westbrook got in there. The crew took a quick look at it and said, too much damage broken. He is done.
D-Dub's done for the night. A heartbreaker running in the 4th spot.
And on the move.
Smith up now into that 4th position, and he's starting to make his presence known. 11 laps left to go. We got a car. Jeff Cook on the outside of corner number 3 is not going to fire. And I believe we're going to have to go to the yellow flag. And yes, we will. Sounds like there was contact between Jeff Cook and maybe Chris Steele.
The front wing on Cook's car is all mangled there. Let's go to look at Steele's car and see if there's any damage on him.
There's discussion about the nose wing for the Jeff Cook number 10. We'll go to the work area with the damaged front nose on the car. Not sure what else is wrong with the car, guys. You'll have to get a good look as he comes by, but the front nose wing definitely askew on the 10.
Yeah, it's just hanging in there. Well, that'll have to be pulled off, replaced. Jeff Cook will head it back to the work area. 24 laps complete, 11 laps remain. And it's been tough to make up positions. I mean, there's a lot of racing room out there, but trying to get the forward drive as we look up through this field from front to back, Greg. Who do you notice that's, well, I guess Mark Smith would have to be the driver that's made the most gains.
Another one is Jordan Thomas, who started back there in the 20th spot. Look at him, he's in 6th position. Someone that we maybe wrote off a little bit earlier on in the night because he had a rough start to the evening, but now he's in the thick of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that.
Just remember, he started in the same spot that Brian Howland started in 2015. So.
Yep. And Parker Price Miller continues to pound that same groove. I'm not saying he can't go elsewhere on the track. We really don't know that, but he's really been focused on running that one groove, and it's worked for him to this point. But if he does get into a battle, can he move around the racetrack and make it work?
Gonna find out here shortly. Funny how we keep going back to 2015. What a great finish that was. 3 of those drivers still in the field here tonight with Parker Price Miller. Mark Smith was kind of a late addition to that last couple of laps. He joined into the party, and Steve Poirier, the only one missing. Brian Howland, who I'm sure is watching at home, and we'd love to have you out here, Brian Howland. Always fun driver to watch.
Jeff Cook gets back out from the pits with no nose wing on the 10 car. Wow, Dylan Westbrook.
Well, he didn't lose a lap.
Well, the situation was they looked at it, figured it was something they couldn't fix in 2 minutes. Then the yellow came right back out, gave them the opportunity to go to work on it, and they got it back out.
That's fortuitous for D-Dub's Dylan Westbrook. Got a lot of work to do, though. Green flag is back out. Parker Price Miller shoots down the front stretch and into corner number 1.
Jeff Cook in that 10 car. That car did not launch there coming out of turn 4. He's got his hands full.
Parker Price Miller leads with 10 to go. Hebing is there again, trying to go to the inside, can't make it work that time. And look at Haferteeth now, up to third with Smith right next to him.
Yeah, you got the Friday night winners duking it out for 3rd and 4th right now. Haferteeth on the outside, and a car down the backstretch. Kyle Drum nearly got clobbered. He'll turn it down to the inside of corner number 3, and the caution flag flies again.
Alex Hill and the 23 machine just snuck by.
This is uncharacteristic Nationals.
Yeah. I was just about to say that because this race normally not as plagued as we've seen here tonight, and it's been since the drop of the green flag. Does fuel become an issue, Tommy? Or Adam? None of us being crew members, but
Hashtag closed.
55 out of 79, 750.
Well, I was just wondering the same thing as Dylan Westbrook heads back to the pits in the 47 machine. And I don't know, there's got to be a protocol for it, and if there's protocol, then Tommy Gooch has to know about it. Tommy Gooch knows about everything. Have they given a number of green and yellow laps combined on where they would go red and refuel?
I haven't heard what that number is. I think we're getting pretty close.
We're gonna walk down. I'm getting some nods.
Keep the 97, stop asking. Send him right that way and we can come back. 8 times he's asked and said no. Leave him.
I'm gonna pop in as these race directors are race directing.
Put him in the infield. Put him in the infield and we'll come for 1 to go.
Try to get Doug Leonard real quick. How close are we getting to a refueling point?
We'll be in a couple more. If we get 1 more caution, we'll be there.
Doug says 1 more caution. We may be there and having to throw a red, refuel these race cars.
Well, guys, Kyle Drum's torsion rack at the front of the frame is bent back a few degrees. Gonna bind it up on him. He says he's done. He will not take his time in the work area. They'll tow him to the infield so we can keep on rolling.
back to the green flag. Parker Price Miller, Chuck Hebing, Sam Haferteeth, Mark Smith, and Jordan Thomas from back in 20th. That's your top 5 with now just 9 laps left to settle it for 10 grand US dollars. Green flag in the air.
Chuck Hebing's right rear wheel has got white all over it. I wonder if he maybe clipped the wall at some point. but he's not letting that show as he goes after Parker Price Miller again for the lead.
Man, he sailed the car in hard and he was able to get some bite. Chuck Hebing is learning lap after lap what that car is capable of. Sam Haverteep in third, not really able to keep pace right now with the top two.
Great battle going on at the front. Parker Price Miller leads, but here comes the Cobra. Chuck Hebing, oh, he hits the wall at corner number one with the left rear. The car will go around in front of the field. He does a 360, and it looks like he'll be able to stay going. And yes, we are going green, but will Hebing be able to pull it into the infield?
Wow. What a turn of events. Chuck Hebing was putting on a show, and he is out of this one. And what a lead with 5 laps to go. Parker Price Miller with a significant lead over Sam Haverteep.
We talked about how that outside line can bite you when you're digging so hard. Well, that concrete wall can do the same, and it's done it for the Cobra and Chuck Hebing. Parker Price Miller out in front over Sam Haverteep Jr. and Mark Smith.
Jordan Thomas just jumped up to the 4th position, but he is just about out of laps. We got one more peeling off on the backstretch.
That, I believe, is Max Stambaugh that went on. Max Demand will rejoin the field after an off-road excursion.
Battle for second now, Smith and Haverteep. Smith tries to take that spot away. Parker Price Miller back into traffic now, but it might be too late for the rest of the field to catch him.
Anything can happen here in the closing laps. 2 laps to go.
The law firm, Parker Price Miller out in front, working through lap traffic. A great battle for that second spot going on right now with Mark Smith and Sam Haverteep. The winners on Friday night started back in row number 5, but they've got their eyes set on Parker Price Miller, and the red flag is out.
Car on its side in corner 2.
Jordan Thomas on his side.
Oh no.
Trucks, come and grab all these guys and take them to turn 3. Grab all these guys and roll them to turn 3.
So push trucks being called to grab all the drivers, all these cars, and push them up to corner number 3. As it looks like we are going to need a refueling with 2 laps left to go.
I think Jordan Thomas might be able to go.
Yeah, I didn't see the rollover, but not much damage on that car. He's an easy over possibly, and he could be continuing on here.
So refueling break here. More shout outs. Shout out to Chris T. Word up to Chris T, who's being educated on sprint car racing from Robin. And boy, oh boy, they started dropping like flies, didn't they?
They did. The Cobra Chuck Hebing smacking the wall down in corner number 1. We see him down in the infield. And then I believe it was Max Stambaugh that ended up in the infield as well. And he was up in the top 10. Before Jordan Thomas, who was running up in the top 5, toppled over.
Those guys are okay. Hold there. All these guys in the front in turn 4.
Cars being brought over to the entrance of corner number 3. Crews will come out. They will be able to refuel, and tire pressures only. Now, 2 laps to go. Could this change the complexion, though? How much fuel you put in? Tire pressure change. Could anything help at this point? As Parker Price Miller's been out in front, anything can happen on one of these restarts. Far from over still with 2 laps left to go. And Tommy, we had a few folks online asking about the long haul award tonight and why someone like Sam Haverteep did not win that. I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, so Sam Haverteep is from Texas, but the wording of the award is that it goes to the team. And Sam Haverteep's team is from about 10 minutes from here. So can't really give him the long haul award for that. So we looked at Mark Smith's team. Mark Smith comes from Pennsylvania. Mark Smith's team, his car, comes from well east of Montreal, up in Trois-Rivières, Quebec. So a very long tow to get down here from that area of the country. So we gave them the long tow award.
It's crew
See, Parker Price Miller, as the camera crew had it shot right into the cockpit of Parker Price Miller, and he's talking with someone on the backstretch grandstands. Is that his dad? But anyways, little discussion going on. Where do you want me? I think is what he might be saying.
He's patting the top of his head and saying, do you want me to go top or bottom?
This is the closest to a spotter they will get in a sprint car.
You will see people up near the fence during a yellow flag, and sometimes they don't leave that fence when the race goes green again, and we really wish that they would.
Well, you said it, Tommy, not one of the nationals that we expect for the A main, where it's been a night of calamity, and it started off the drop of the green flag. Usually a fairly quickly run race. We've had them go from green to checker, I believe, in the past, but usually...
We had one year where it went
caution.
yellow on the first lap, and then the rest of the race went green from there, but we've never actually had one go completely 35 laps green to checkered, but we've been as close as you can get.
I would say this is probably our first refuel situation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, or is.
So those watching at home getting a good close-up look here. Fuel and tire pressure only, and officials there keeping an eye on things to make sure that is the only thing happening.
If you've been a sprint car fan for a while, you probably remember watching like old Knoxville Nationals from back in the late 80s and early 90s, when if it went red, they let them do basically anything they wanted to, and it got pretty crazy. And so we've added a few rules over the years about what you can and can't do during a red flag.
Rules are challenging because if you have rules, then you've got to enforce them.
Yeah.
So we can see, I'm watching Sam Haferteep's crew go to work. That's not a lot of fuel being poured in, just like you said, Greg. Keep the weight off that you can keep off.
But that could be a game too. Because...
What's going on in turns 1 and 2? It's like a fog rolling in.
I've been in a fog all year.
Well, fair point.
Back to the fuel issue. You could run the risk of playing a bit of a game here, though, because I know there's only 2 laps left to go, but you don't know how long these 2 laps could last. You don't put enough in. Who knows? These crews know what they're doing and are diligently working to get ready to go back to the green flag here with 2 laps left to go. And the fog has certainly rolled in here in corners 1 and 2. Hi, Greg. Yes, I'll see you next Saturday at Ohsweken Speedway.
Jordan Thomas in the 79 being pushed back from the pit area. So they made...
Okay, April Wilson. I see she says she wants a shout out on Twitter, so hello to April Wilson.
No shout outs for the Wilsons. They should be here racing.
Yeah, Rick was a longtime competitor here. Just a couple of years ago was the first nationals he missed.
Once again, I want to thank VictoryGames.com for bringing us tonight's live broadcast, free for everyone. And been a big part of this weekend. Stay tuned for the VictoryGames.com post-race show. I believe that's still taking place. Is that correct, Adam?
There is some conversation about that. I'm going to wait for the word from Clinton Jeffrey. We may go straight to the pit party and to the band. But I'll wait to hear from the boss as the pit crew's heading back towards the pit area.
Also should make sure we give a shout out to our major corporate sponsors here at the Speedway. In 2018, this being our final night of the season, the good folks at Aero Express, Kurt Stiers and company, doing a great job bringing us this Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Case IH Agriculture, Cool Kids Ice and Water, Core Pack Merchandising, Renway Energy, Pinty's Delicious Foods, Strickland's GMC, the Burger Barn, of course, Ackland Insurance, Lucas Oil Products, Epic Racewear, O'Neill's Farm Equipment, and McDonald's of Paris and Brantford, the Rochester Nighthawks, of course, Lone Wolf Fireworks, who provide such a great display every Friday night here. Hoosier Racing Tire, HRW Automotive, Gales Auto Aftermarket, Insta Insulation, and Jibs Action Sports, all major corporate sponsors here at the Speedway in 2018. We thank them very much for their support.
Yeah, great bunch of supporters here. We've got a gaggle of people heading down to the infield. Strange things happen at midnight.
It's not even a full moon. Kind of thought it might have been, but can't really see it right now. Some people on our YouTube channel are discussing whether they think Parker Price Miller's left rear looks a little bit low.
Yeah, that is interesting. I didn't notice that, but yeah, looking right now on the shot that we have, Parker Price Miller's left rear looking maybe soft. So the yellow flag back out, cars pushed under power here. I don't know, can we get a shot from one of our cameramen on that left rear of the 67X of Parker Price Miller?
Now they do run bleeders on those tires so that they don't build up too much air pressure. So sometimes during a caution or a red flag, they will lose a little bit of air, and then when they get back going again and build up some heat.
Yeah.
Now that looks pretty healthy as we get a good close-up shot from Dave Stiers. Thank you, Dave.
Got a lot of good people that help make this happen for us here in the tower, with Dave Stiers up on the roof, and we got Greg Boydell over in corner number 2. Of course, Clinton Jeffrey getting all the news and info for us down trackside. Got Brittany Jacari up here in the tower giving us our lineups, making it easy for us. And Doug Leonard also here in the tower, our race director, each and every Friday night. DJ Darren here playing the tunes. Sherry Huffman always on top of it with her pen doing the scoring. Great bunch that we get to work with every broadcast. We get the easy part, we just have to talk.
Yeah, it's not that challenging. Well, challenging, but not that difficult. If it was rocket science, I'd be out.
If we can eat Burger Barn and do our jobs, it's not that difficult. White flag is out. That's what we've all wanted to see. And Parker Price Miller is 2 laps away from winning his 2nd Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. The first coming back in 2016.
56, 80, 87, 17. 80 up. Lights are up, Trevor. Lights are up, coming green. Lights are up, coming green.
So it'll be Parker Price Miller, Sam Haferteep Jr., Mark Smith, Steve Poirier, Davey Franick, the top 5. Oh, Mitch Brown, I believe he may be up there in the thick of things as well.
Green flag flies. Parker Price Miller to the top. Sam Haverteep to the bottom.
That's not going to work. Parker Price Miller stretches the advantage on Sam Haverteep, and here comes the fireball out of nowhere to second.
Steve Poirier on the last lap, battling to the inside of Haverteep for second. That allows Parker Price Miller to get away.
Final time through corner number 3. Court is in session and the law firm is ready to do business. Parker Price Miller wins his second career Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. The fireball, Steve Poirier, comes home in second over Mark Smith. So Parker Price Miller becomes a 2-time winner of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Poirier second, Mark Smith third, Sam Haverteep Jr. comes home in fourth, Davey Franick fifth, sixth, Scott Kruder, seventh, Jordan Poirier. Great run for Mitch Brown, up to eighth, Chris Steele ninth, and Jason Barney finds himself inside the top 10. Lone Wolf Fireworks lighting up the sky, the official firework provider of Ohsweken Speedway over on Highway 54 in Middleport. Check them out online on Facebook for all your fireworks celebration needs. Lone Wolf Fireworks, the official firework provider of Ohsweken Speedway. We see Poirier, we see Smith just waiting for the winner. Parker Price Miller doing the donuts. In corner number 3, we'll get him a push. And down to Lucas Oil Products. Victory lane for the second time in his career. The first time in 2016 for the law firm Parker Price Miller.
They're going to probably weigh him first.
Make sure he's got to go to the scales.
He's going to go to the scales first.
He'll get the push down to the pad and get ready to celebrate. The Hills Racing team.
Those ones are big. Sorry, you said you still has to go to the scales?
So Parker Price Miller's still needing to get to the scales before we can send it down to Lucas Oil Products Victory Lane and talk with Parker Price Miller.
Grab the 67X.
Here comes all the push trucks at once now.
Get him off, Dustin, get him off. Take him. Dustin, off the horn, get the guy off, take him to the scale. Tell him to get out.
Oh, man.
Parker Price Miller making his way now to the pit area. He'll cross the scales. If everything is A-OK, he will make his way down to Lucas Oil Products Victory Lane. The Hills Racing team congregating down there. Steve Poirier. Pretty quiet weekend for Steve Poirier, but at the end he found the horsepower and got himself up to second. Mark Smith crossing the line in third.
Trying to figure out who the hard charger is, and I think it may be Chris Steele, who unofficially started 30th and finished 9th. But we will confirm that one.
Where did Mitch Brown start?
26th, so that is not going to be the case. So I believe Chris Steele should be the hard charger award winner.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here he comes. He's cleared the scales. We'll get ready for Adam Ross to interview our top 3 down here. Parker Price Miller on his way to Lucas Oil Victory Lane in the 14th Annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals.
Race fans, this is not his first rodeo. Parker Price Miller celebrates atop the Town Line Variety number 67.
Good job, Tommy. It was a pail for you. Yeah, that's it.
Parker Price Miller getting some congratulations from the crew.
I don't know who gets that.
Man, oh man, congratulations. Talk about that run.
Oh man, I think I had a heart attack those last 5 laps. Man, I didn't want to see that yellow come out. You can watch the scoreboard, and I don't like doing it, but I noticed the 67 would come up on the board, and no other numbers would come up on the board, and as I passed it, so I knew I had a big lead, and that yellow came out, and I was like, it's just not meant to be. I haven't won a race yet this year, and man, what a time for it to be here at Ohsweken for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals.
Could you see much of Chuck Hebing in the 45? He was really working the bottom groove where you were fairly committed to the top side, and that's what ultimately put him out. He got into the inside wall there in 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's been strong all weekend, and he got a good start, and we were just a little too tight at the beginning, but I knew we were going to be good later, and man, my car just came on so strong. I can't thank Miles Hill, Pam, Alex, Trevor, Cam, Kent, everyone that makes this happen, and everyone, I can't thank you enough.
We're going to let you celebrate and get some pictures taken here. One more question, but that red flag with 2 laps to go, what goes through your mind when you're sitting there for that long?
You're just thinking about every part that can come into play. You got to make sure you get a good restart. My motor wasn't taking off good, so I just made sure I kept my RPMs high and got a good start. I felt like I got a bad start, and I kind of cheated it going into 1 to make sure Sam couldn't slide me. But I had a few words over on the back straightaway. Some lap cars wanted to race you, but they're laughing about it. That's just not how I race, and I don't appreciate it.
There you have it, Parker Price Miller. They're going to get to celebrating here, get some victory lane photos done. Steve Poirier, driver of the number 28. Man, nice drive. It seemed like he almost came out of nowhere, and the car came on like gangbusters at the end.
Yeah, it was good short run, and on long run, the line I was running, I had the car running inside were crossing in front of me, so I was struggling a little bit about that, and my tires on long run seems the car and tire were not working, but on short run with all those restarts at the end, they really played in our favor.
How happy are you with a second place run? I know you're here to win, you always want to win, but that's got to feel good. You drove hard for that.
Yeah, that was a hard-fought battle starting from 12 and after last year, so that's a good rebound for us. I'm really happy. Congratulations to Parker Price, a really nice and gentleman driver, so I'm really happy with my weekend.
There you have it. Steve Poirier coming home in second place, race fans. Mark Smith having a look at the right rear tire here. Before the race, we talked about how you were guaranteed to start 9th or 10th, but you weren't looking for that. You wanted to be closer to the front. You had your work cut out for you, but you had a good drive. Can you be satisfied with this?
No, you're never satisfied with running third, but we had a slow start there at the beginning. We actually fell back, I don't know, maybe 11th or 12th, and once the car got going, we got really good there and started coming up through, and then kept having those restarts, and some of them helped me, but the last 2 laps I needed a little bit longer run to keep it going, because I was better after about 3 or 4 laps, and then I could really hit my lines real nice, and I'd get a little too tight when it was a short run, but all in all, it was pretty good. We didn't have anything fall off or break this time or get run over, so I call that a plus.
There you have it. Mark Smith comes home third tonight. Race fans, your top three. Parker Price Miller, the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals champion. Second place to Steve Poirier. Rounding out the top three, it's Mark Smith. From Victory Lane, I'm Adam Ross, and that'll do it from down here. Back to you, Greg and Tommy.
Thank you very much, Adam, and thank you, Clinton Jeffrey, down there all night long, working down in the pits and down in Victory Lane as well. And congratulations to the top three celebrating down there in Lucas Oil Products, Victory Lane. So that will conclude our night of racing here. Thank you for being a part of the 14th Annual Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car National, supercharged by Nitro 54 variety. And thank you to the fans that were here tonight. Fantastic crowd. Thanks to all tuning in online and being a part of this fantastic event. We can't wait for the 15th annual edition of this race. That concludes our racing season as well for 2018. It's been a long road, but a fun road, and it has come to an end. Make sure you stay tuned on OhswekenSpeedway.com for all the news during the off season about the 2019 season. So on behalf of the Stiers family, all of our crew, all of our officials and staff that worked so hard to bring these race nights each and every Friday night and our special event here tonight. And on behalf of my co-announcers, Tommy Gooch, Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey, my name's Greg Kellman saying so long. We'll see you back here at the Big O in 2019.